Radio Sports presents the National Football League Championship, Super Bowl 15, between the AFC champion Oakland Raiders and the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. Hello, everybody. I'm Dick Stockton reporting from the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans, along with Jack Buck, Hank Stram, and Brent Musburger. Together, we'll bring you all the action and excitement of today's game, sponsored by Express Mail Next Day's Service, by Buick and your Buick dealer, by the Boeing Company, by Bayer Aspirin, by General Electric, by Exxon Office Systems, by Home Light Chainsaws, by the Copier Division of Sharp Electronics Corporation, and by True Value Hardware Stores.
Our coverage of Super Bowl 15 is locally by Jay's Potato Chips, Heat, Clefstein Engineering, Buick, Rusty Jones, Magnetic Video, Ward's Budget Center.
No matter who you talk to, coaches, scouts, experts of all kinds, no matter where you find them, the training camps, media headquarters, or Bourbon Street, the consensus is clear. Today's Super Bowl matchup shapes up as one of the keenest struggles you can imagine. The AFC champs, the Oakland Raiders, the Renegades, Desperados, haven for cast-offs, the swashbuckling crew which came out of nowhere to become a power again in the NFL, against the champs of the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles, an old-school traditional outfit that finally made it back after a 20-year hiatus on grueling hard work and intensity under the whip of determined head coach Dick Vermeil. First, the Oakland story. The Raiders, unimpressive in preseason, got off to a mediocre start. Then came an injury which turned their season around. Tom Flory's club lost 3 of its first 5 games. Starting quarterback Dan Pastorini, acquired from Houston in the offseason for Ken Stabler, broke his leg and was replaced by 10-year vet Jim Plunkett, whose career had gone into eclipse. Plunkett had seriously thought of quitting the game, but he dramatically led the Raiders on an extraordinary surge, winning 6 in a row before losing to Philadelphia 10-7 on November 23rd. No one figured at the time that the game would be a matchup of the eventual Super Bowl combatants. The Raiders proceeded to win 3 of their last 4 to finish 11-5, tied with San Diego for the AFC West title, but relegated to the wild card spot by virtue of a tiebreaker. The Philadelphia story was different. The Eagles exploded from the start, winning 11 of its first 12 games, including victories over arch-rival Dallas and, of course, that triumph over the Raiders. They did it with a brilliant all-round team defense and a methodical attack featuring enough firepower in the backfield and at wide receiver to support a quarterback who rarely made mistakes. Then the Eagles slumped, losing 3 of their last 4 games. But they held on to gain a tiebreaker nod for the NFC East crown over the Cowboys, who finished with the same 12-4 record as Philadelphia. In the postseason, the Eagles beat Minnesota in a divisional playoff, then rose to the occasion to impressively shut off a hot Dallas team for the NFC Championship and a chance at their first world title since the days of Van Brocklin, McDonald, Bednarik, and that gang who romped at old Franklin Field. Meanwhile, the Raiders had to reach the Super Bowl as a wild card entry, first stopping Earl Campbell and the Houston Oilers, then proving they could win in the freezing climate of Cleveland in a tough, gutty triumph over the Browns, and then finally in a showdown victory over the Chargers in San Diego to get an opportunity to win their second Super Bowl in 4 years. That's the backdrop of today's game, a closer look at the people who will make it happen when I return with more details after this message. The Philadelphia Eagles themselves freely admit that they must run the ball successfully to win today's Super Bowl. That means the burden is heaviest on the shoulders of Wilbert Montgomery, their leading ball carrier who gained 778 yards during a season in which he was plagued by injury. Leroy Harris, the other Philly running back, picked up some tough yards in a superb effort against Dallas. Harris has been bothered by a hamstring pull. He's expected to start, but if he can't, rookie Perry Harrington will get the call. Still, Montgomery is the key, and if he runs like he did against Dallas when he gained 194 yards, the Eagles will be tough to stop. Basically, Philadelphia's offensive ammunition depends on Montgomery and towering wide receiver Harold Carmichael, who at 6'7" is tough to cover. He caught 9 touchdown passes this season. Those are the 2 big guns. But quarterback Ron Jaworski still thinks his team can survive if the Raiders stop Montgomery and Carmichael.
Well, those are 2 big guns in our offense, obviously, but I still think we can win the football game. This team has some sort of resiliency which no other football team has that I've been around. The ability to find a way to win, and it's been the real key to our season. One day our defense doesn't play well, the offense comes up with a big game. If our offense isn't playing well, the defense shuts them down. So I really don't think you could say if you stop 1 or 2 guys that you can beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
Quarterback Ron Jaworski, who was the top-rated passer in the NFC, mainly on the strength of his consistency. Jaworski threw only 12 interceptions while firing 27 touchdown passes. He's cool, steady, and well-protected. Jaworski has other targets, of course. Charlie Smith returns after a broken jaw, which should help the Eagles when they go to a 3-wide receiver setup. Keith Krepfle is the tight end, and rookie Rodney Parker caught 4 passes against Dallas. But Carmichael is the big target, and considering the Raiders' man-for-man secondary coverage, the key matchup may not be Carmichael against Lester Hayes and his phenomenal 18 interceptions, but Carmichael against the other cornerback, ex-Ram Dwayne Osteen.
For me, and possibly seeing that giant in Carmichael, I will probably see him maybe possibly 80% of the time, depending on what their offensive game plan calls for. In the game earlier in the season, regular season, we faced them and we lost that one 10-7. Their wide receivers, the 3 of their wide receivers that played that game, they caught 3 passes on us for about 26 yards, and Carmichael caught 2 of those passes. So we were pretty effective against them in our man-to-man coverage.
Quarterback Dwayne Osteen of a Raiders defense that intercepted 35 enemy passes during the regular season tops in the NFL, and an overall defense which features blitzes galore, including those from their linebacker who is just about everywhere, Ted Henry. If the Eagles were a patient, methodical team on attack this season, the Oakland Raiders got to the end zone in a hurry, striking quick and fast with the big gainer. Jim Plunkett's story is more than merely the comeback of the year. It is the story of a man who saw an early bright flame die and nearly smother a career that was widely heralded 10 years ago. But Plunkett fought frustration, waited in the wings, and made the most of his big and perhaps last chance. He didn't look very good at times, and his statistics were often unimpressive. But he got the job done and hit the long pass play when he needed it. Still, Jim Plunkett doesn't think it's the only way the Raiders have to go.
Well, I don't think we necessarily have to rely on the big play, although we've gotten quite a few of them during the course of the year. San Diego a couple of weeks ago, we control the ball very well, very effectively, running and throwing with the short passing game. But we're very capable of getting that big play when we need it.
The San Diego effort, which Plunkett talks about, was impressive because the Raiders killed the clock and never let the Chargers get the ball in those final minutes, thanks to a solid backfield combo of Kenny King, the rookie with outside speed, and Mark Van Egan, the veteran who gets the tough yards inside. But the Eagles have to be wary of the Raiders' ability to strike quickly. Defensive end Carl Hairston, who's been effective against both the run and the pass, pinpoints the key Raiders threat.
Well, the biggest weapon is stopping Jim Plunkett and going to Cliff Branch. That's going to be the major threat in that ball game because Cliff Branch is one of those 9-2 sprinters, and Jim Plunkett can throw the deep foot, throw the ball deep, and that's going to be the main weapon we're going to have to stop. The key factor for myself is beating our shell. He's a big guy, and he's a strong guy, and I'm going to have to match him strength with strength and talent with talent.
The Eagles' defensive end Carl Hairston, but Philadelphia's defense is a cohesive team effort, particularly the linebackers, featuring the veteran Bill Berkey and fast-rising Jerry Robinson, and a secondary that is solid, even with a rookie, cornerback Roynell Young, who's performed like a seasoned pro. What Plunkett and the Raiders must avoid is that 4th pass rusher coming in for the Eagles. And who is the man Jim Plunkett doesn't want to see out there?
Well, I think, for the most part, Claude Humphrey, who comes in usually on passing downs, and he does an excellent job of pressuring the quarterback. Their whole front 4 does, but Claude in particular, that's almost the only time he comes in the ball game, so he's fresh, and he's hungry, and he's ready to come.
Jim Plunkett, Raiders quarterback, who saw a good deal of Claude Humphrey in their first meeting. Humphrey had a field day against the Raiders tackle Henry Lawrence, who will have to be up to the task this time. Coaching matchup in Super Bowl 15 is as diverse as the two teams' backgrounds and offensive styles. Dick Vermeil of the Eagles is an old-school taskmaster who drives his team incessantly with demanding, lengthy workouts. The former UCLA head coach and Rams assistant is a man who knows how to play up the drama of the moment and prime his club to a fevered pitch most weeks regardless of the opposition. Raiders head coach Tom Flores blends in with the background, on the other hand, and quietly goes about his business without much fanfare or stern treatment of his squad. He's a far cry from the days of volatile John Madden. Vermeil constantly reminds his team what it would mean for many of the veterans who have known despair and in some cases humiliation from the fans and press to achieve the ultimate. As for today's game, what does Vermeil feel the Eagles must accomplish to win?
Well, first off, I think we have to establish a sound running game, because if you can't run on these big physical people, they get into a 5-man rush defense, And with the ability of their secondary to cover and then the five-man rush, it makes it hard to move the football consistently. And then, secondly, I think our defense has to prevent the long bomb, the big play, the one-play score-type play, and the 60-yard play. And if we do those things and don't turn the ball over, I think it'll be very close all the way down to the wire.
That's how Eagles head coach Dick Vermeil sizes up the game. Tom Flores of the Raiders says Plunkett must have adequate protection for the Raiders to move the ball. That's one key. The other is field position. That's where Oakland's brilliant punter Ray Guy becomes a strong weapon. For if Guy can keep the Eagles pinned down so that they must drive most of the field, the Raiders feel they can stop Philly's attack. Flores also talks of this game in personal terms, in terms that revives the beginnings of the Super Bowl and what it meant.
I'm still an AFL guy at heart. I started out in 1960 with the Raiders, and I hated for the merger to take away our identity. So I'm still an AFL guy, and this is great that the original AFL team is playing an old, established NFL team, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of being an original American Football League player.
Raiders head coach Tom Flores recalling the origins of Tom Flores, the player, and the Oakland Raiders, the team. I'll return with my final comments right after this. So the stage is set for a grueling physical matchup in which both the Raiders and the Eagles rely on defense as their trump card. What the teams do on first and second downs could hold the key. The Raiders are eager to keep veteran pass rusher Claude Humphrey out of the game as much as possible. The Raiders didn't handle him very well the first time around. The Eagles will look to avoid definite passing situations in which the Raiders bring in a fifth defensive back, opening up the possibility of blitzes from just about everywhere and unleashing Ted Hendricks more than usual. The Eagles prefer a low-scoring game, better suited to their offense. The Raiders wouldn't mind a high-scoring affair. Mistakes at critical moments might especially decide this one, since both teams have strong enough defenses to halt long drives. This game between the Raiders and the Eagles is a matchup in which a solid case can be made for either team. And what better way to launch what looks to be the most evenly matched Super Bowl of them all going in. So we'll return to the Superdome in just 1 minute on the CBS Radio Network to join Jack Buck and Hank Stram for Super Bowl 15, the Oakland Raiders versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This is Dick Stockton, CBS Radio Sports.
From the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, on the CBS Radio Network, and around the world on American Forces Radio, CBS Radio brings you Super Bowl 15 between the American Conference champions, the Oakland Raiders, and the National Conference champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jack Buck, along with Hank Stram, Brent Musburger, and Dick Stockton. We'll be bringing you all the action and excitement of Super Bowl 15. The Oakland Raiders squad is on the field, and very shortly their starting offensive unit will be introduced. The Philadelphia Eagle players who will not be introduced at the outset are also coming on the field. Their offensive unit will be presented to this crowd of 75,500 gathered in the Superdome. It's a beautiful day here in New Orleans, quite warm, the sun is shining, and everybody is very anxious for the first kick of this game to get the contest underway as the Eagles are in the Super Bowl for the first time, and the Oakland Raiders try to win it for the second time. This broadcast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. We're at the Superdome in New Orleans, where the Eagles and the Raiders will soon be battling to determine who will become the champions of Super Bowl 15. We'll hear from Hank Stram, and we'll continue in 1 moment.
We don't expect the name Clefstad to become a household word, although thousands of Chicagoans work in the many office buildings, factories, warehouses, truck terminals, automobile showrooms, and retail stores that, over the past 40 years and more, were designed, engineered, and built by Clefstad Engineering Company, Incorporated, the Chicago area's foremost single responsibility industrial builder. From start to finish, every trade skill or service that goes into a Clefstad building is furnished or supervised by Clefstad crews or supervisory personnel. Clefstad does it all, and you deal with only one firm, Clefstad. That's single responsibility. So if you're planning to build a plant or add to or renovate your present one, call Jim Connor or Stan Clefstad at 777-7300, or call your real estate broker or banker It's an odds-on bet. The name Klefstad is a household word with them.
WBBM Chicago.
The Oakland Raiders offensive unit has just been introduced, and now the Philadelphia Eagles will be presented, and they have more fans down here because of the proximity of Philadelphia as opposed to the Bay Area. Engstrom, what are the thoughts that you have to express that hasn't been said to this moment? The excitement is great, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, Jack, and it's hard to, there's just so much you can say about a football game, and in the final analysis, you have to realize that this game is no different than any other game that's been played so far. Oh, I should say last year, in 1980, this is 81. But in the final analysis, you have to be able to sift through all the hoopla, all the excitement, all the notoriety, and make sure that you understand you're here for one reason, and that's not just to be here to play in the Super Bowl game. You're here to win the Super Bowl game. It's always going to be the same kind of a game. It's a game of blocking, tackling, and execution. It'll be a game of turnovers, field position, and the kicking game. And once they pump the balls up and screw the hats on, that's the way you got to play.
Hank, when you brought the Kansas City teams to the Super Bowl, one of which you won, did you do much different in the 2 weeks you had to prepare for the game?
Well, in the one game we had, Jack, we had 2 weeks to prepare for that one. And the first week we spent some time with new things because I thought it would increase the enthusiasm and the concentration level of our team to be working on something new in preparation for the Super Bowl game. Then we level up
early, right?
Yes, we did that the very first week. We filmed stuff, looked at things that we wanted to experiment with and maybe possibly use in the Super Bowl game. In the second one, Super Bowl number 4, we only had a week to prepare for the game, so we didn't deviate too much from what we normally had done. We just scouted ourselves very, very carefully and did a lot of things that Minnesota never saw us do during the course of the regular season.
Hank, generally speaking, you and I really don't care who wins the Super Bowl game, and we're like a lot of fans who are neutral and just want to see a good game played down here in the Superdome. But you and I have both been forced into making predictions, and you like the Oakland Raiders, don't you?
Yes, I like the Oakland Raiders, and I have to compliment you, Jack. You picked the Philadelphia Eagles from the very beginning before the season started, and here they are. So you did a super job, and of course, in this particular game, we're going to watch 2 excellent football teams. But in the final analysis, I just kind of have a feeling that the Oakland Raiders will win. I picked them to win because I think they somehow, some way, find a way to beat you. They know how to win. They've been here before, and I think that's an advantage.
A lot of people say this is the good guys against the bad guys because the people who don't like the Oakland Raiders more than don't like them, they rather dislike them. And they're the bad guys. The Eagles are supposedly the good guys this afternoon. We'll see what happens. Already, we've been entertained by the Southern University Marching Band, and they are terrific. Ben Reith is the referee, the umpire Frank Sinkovich. The headlinesman Tony Viteri, the line judge Tom Dooley, Tom Kelleher, the back judge, Dean Look, the side judge, the field judge is Fritz Graff, and the alternates are Dick Jorgensen and John Keck. And those officials have all been chosen on their merit. They earned their way into the Super Bowl. And very shortly, now that the introductions have been made, the color guard will be coming on the field as they are. And a familiar name in the entertainment world in the United States of America, Helen O'Connell, will be singing our national anthem. Prior to that, there will be a moment of silence, and we shall tune in the public address announcer when he starts to conduct the festivities here shortly before game time, which seems to be now only 3 minutes or so away.
Thank you.
And referee Ben Reith will now have the microphone. Sounds strange to say, but that's what has evolved in this game of football with the referees wearing a microphone. This is the second Super Bowl assignment for Ben Reith.
Philadelphia get over here in Oakland.
The Oakland Raiders.
I want you to meet the Oakland captain. This is Captain Upshaw, Captain Hendrick, Captain Christensen. Captains Philadelphia, Jaworski, Carmichael, Giamona, and Harrison. Okay, men, Mrs. Lombardi is going to flip the coin, and a captain from Oakland will call it in the air. Captain Christensen, call the coin in the air. Heads, he called. If the tails, Philadelphia won the toss.
Philadelphia's won the toss. Hank, no particular advantage playing indoors here in the Superdome. Would you rather have the ball at the outset of a game like this?
I always think in a big game like this one, very honestly, regardless of the situation, I would take the ball if I won the toss, but I would kind of hope that I would lose it so I could play defense.
Both teams are on the field. Super Bowl 15, and shortly we'll have the opening kickoff.
Baby me, baby. Let me get close to you.
Mister, to baby your baby, your skin's gotta feel smooth. Rise Baby Face Shave Cream has an exclusive baby oil formula that's tough on your beard, tender on your skin. For a shave so close, your skin feels smooth up close.
Baby me, baby. Let me get close to you.
Rise Baby Face Shave Cream. Tough on your beard, tender on your skin.
Baby me, baby. Running a ski lodge is a family affair. It takes all of us working together to keep it going. So when the cold and flu season hits, it's good to know we've got our Bayer. Bayer aspirin is the only pain reliever our family uses. We've never found anything we could buy that works one bit better to relieve the aches, fever, and sore throat pain. Believe me, in our family, when a cold or flu makes a round, it's rest, fluids, and all we need is Bayer.
Use only as directed.
Philadelphia Eagles will be receiving. Ordinarily, Billy Campfield is their deep man, and Harrington and Giamona flank him. Another dimension might be added to this game. Angstrom, if we see anything of Wally Henry.
Yes, he's got great speed, but he's a player that hadn't played very much all season long, and whether he'll be able to play in this game and make any kind of a real contribution remains to be seen.
He had fractured ribs, and he had his spleen removed, and it will indeed be Billy Campfield back to receive the kickoff. And Chris Farr will be kicking it off for the Oakland Raiders, who are wearing silver and black, and the home-standing Eagles wear the Kelly green and silver uniforms. A lot of people expect a high-scoring game, do you?
Well, it could be. It could be. It all depends on how the Philadelphia Eagles operate against a bump-and-run defense. It's a big play kind of a defense. If you pass block and get the ball and throw the ball precisely right, one of the things going to be very interesting in this game today, Jack, is to whether or not Carmichael, what kind of a job he's going to be able to do against bump and run. And to counteract the bump and run, I personally would definitely put him in motion to eliminate the problem that he has against bump and run. We'll wait and see. We also want to see whether Hayes will take him all over the field or whether Osteen will take him when he's on his side of the field.
Here's a line drive kick taken by Campfield on the 80, quickly to the 20. He is brought down shy of the 25-yard line. And downfield for the Oakland Raiders. Making the tackle was number 23, Otis McKinney, a defensive back. And the Philadelphia Eagles will go from their own 24-yard line. It was a line drive kick, and Campfield had to wait for the ball, and that allowed Oakland to get downfield in good position.
They had, I don't know who it was, but it looked like somebody had a good shot at him about the 18-yard line and missed the play. One thing's going to be very important for Philadelphia. They have to run the ball and run it well, especially on first down, so they can throw play-action passes.
Harris and Montgomery are in the I formation for Jaworski, and here is the toss to Montgomery, running left, tucks it back, 25, 30-yard line, got about 8 yards, out to the 32. Burgess Owens up from the secondary to make the tackle. And I kind of think that Montgomery might make the difference in this game. I don't think there's anybody on the field on both clubs who can do what he can do.
Well, as I just mentioned before the first play, Philadelphia has to run the ball extremely well. They have to know where Hendricks is, number 83, at all times to make sure that he doesn't penetrate and create a problem from a run and pass standpoint. That time they line up in a double tight end offense and had the flanker to the right, ran away from it, and picked up a nice gain that time on the first play of the game.
Now the two wide receivers, including Charles Smith, are to the right, and here is the up back, Leroy Harris, carrying for a first down, straight ahead to the 35-yard line. Matt Millen, the linebacker, tackled him. Harris had his best game ever as the Philadelphia Eagle in the championship game against the Dallas Cowboys.
One thing that's very obvious, Jaworski plays much, much better at the quarterback position, which is obvious, the position that he plays, when he is able to run the ball well from a team standpoint.
And it's a first down for the Eagles, of course, the first of the day, out to the 35-yard line. And now Montgomery is the lone setback. Smith is to the right, Carmichael to the left. Tight end Krepley is on the right side for the Eagles. They're going from our right to our left, and Jaworski's going to put it up. He sets up and drills it, and it is intercepted at the 45-yard line. Back with the ball is Rob Martin, and Oakland has the ball on the first throw of the day, and Martin wasn't tackled until he got down to the 31-yard line of Philadelphia.
Boy, what a play. Martin got good depth, and it's tough. From that formation, they had a double tight end formation with double flankers on the outside, and they tried to run a play-action pass. The faking was very poor. Jaworski really, it was already amazing that even on the first play, he had very, very nervous feet and threw the ball right into coverage.
He tried to get the ball to Spagnola, but Rod Martin intercepted a big play early on. And the Raiders with Plunkett and King and Van Egan in the backfield are at the Philadelphia 30-yard line. The give is to Van Egan, and he pops it over the middle, and he drives down to about the 27-yard line of Philadelphia. And Bill Berge met him there. Berge, one of the 4 linebackers employed by the Eagles to have the 3-man front, and they're strong on defense.
What you asked me before the game, Jack, about wanting to play defense, there's a great illustration of it. Exactly, because Philadelphia had to go 77 yards to try to score. Oakland will have to go 31.
The ball is at the Philadelphia 27-yard line, and it is 2nd down and 7. Van Egan carried the first time. Kenny King is the other setback. Chandler and Branch are the wide receivers, and here's Plunkett on the delay to Kenny King, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage and driven back. And in fact, he might have lost a foot or so. He ran into the arms of Carl Hairston, the defensive end. He's up front with Charlie Johnson and Dennis Harrison. The linebackers are John Bunting, Bill Berge, Frank Lemaster, and Jerry Robinson. Roynell Young and Herman Edwards are at the corners, and Bernard Wilson and Randy Logan are the safety men for the Eagles, and it's going to be 3rd down and 8 as King lost a yard.
One thing Oakland wants to do in this game, they want to make sure they keep them out of their 4-man front, because they rush the passer much, much better and are much more efficient against the forward pass from their 4-man front than they are with their 3-man rush.
And they set up in the 4-man front right now. And it is 3rd down and 8, and the Eagles probably were offside. Flags down. Plunkett back to throw. Throws long down the middle, incomplete. Jerry Robinson made a diving try for an interception, but it appears with flags down on both sides of the field that Philadelphia was offside. And if that's true, it's going to be 3rd down and 3.
Philadelphia that time was a bump and run. They had a slot formation to the left, which means that both Chandler and Branch were on the left side. The tight end, Chester, was on the right side. And they were in bump and run, playing very tight coverage. But the right side...
Defense offside, number 78.
Carl Hairston was offside. That penalty will help Oakland, even if they don't get the first down with regard to field goal position. The ball is now at the Eagle 23. 3rd down and 3. They have to get almost to the 20-yard line for a first down. They have King and Van Egan in the backfield. The tight end is Raymond Chester on the right side. Dalby, the center, over the ball. And Plunkett, the reclaimed quarterback, at the controls to Van Egan, and he gets a first down to the 20-yard line and down to the 19. Van Egan straight ahead, and Dalby, Upshaw, Marvin, Shell, and Lawrence really kicked them out.
Yes, they did a good job. And I think one thing's very important against Philadelphia. They play the 3-man line. Linebackers have pretty good depth. One thing that's very important, you must run and be patient and run against Philadelphia. So far, Oakland has done a good job, and especially if you run vertically, straight at the defense. They have a sledgehammer attack. If you run right at that defense and stay with it, you'll do a good job of moving the football and help tremendously with your passing offense.
First down, Oakland at the Eagle 20-yard line. No score here in the opening moments.
Look at all the room on that left side.
Going to throw. He looks left.
There he is.
Throws over the middle. It's caught at the 10. Down to the 5. First and goal. Oakland by Cliff Branch coming back over the middle. First and goal at the 5-yard line. You saw that space over there on the left side, and so did Jim Plunkett.
Yes, they had a rotated defense. The tight end was on the right side. They double covered the flanker, which meant that Edwards on the other side was one-on-one on Cliff Branch. It's very difficult to do. He went downfield, ran a delay pattern inside, popped wide open, and the ball is now on the 5-yard line.
And Oakland threatens to score. It's first and goal from the 5 with Van Egan and King just to the right and on the right side.
They're going to run right.
Here comes Van Egan slanting right and diving down to about 2.5 yards away from the goal line before he is stopped. And the middle of the line, led by Dennis Harrison, stopped him. Van Egan is getting good yards and really getting off the ball, Hank.
Yes, and I'm sure they're going to continue to run to their right side. They're going to run at Harrison. They don't want to do business on Hairston. He's proven what a great football player he is. They don't want to emphasize how great he is, and by running too much at him today. They're going to run to the right, I'm sure, especially in critical situations.
After Rod Martin intercepted Jaworski's pass, the Raiders have the ball at the Philadelphia 3, second and goal. No score. 9:45 left in the first quarter, and the running play does not get it. It is stopped at about the 2-yard line. Ball carrier is driven back, Van Egan. And the Eagles are not going to give up this touchdown automatically. That time, Jerry Robinson, the linebacker, was very instrumental in the tackle. Van Egan went to the 2, and it's third and goal.
That time, again, they had a slot formation. Again, a slot meaning that they had both Chandler and Branch on the left side, tight end on the right side, and they're running to the right. And again, as I mentioned a minute ago, they're going to try to run at Harrison rather than go to the other side on most occasions.
Plunkett will run that option occasionally in a spot like this. It's third and goal from the 2. He takes the ball. He's back to throw. Looks into the end zone. He rushes, stops, throws. Touchdown, Oakland! Oakland with a touchdown. Cliff Branch, who set it up at the 5-yard line, caught it in the end zone. And Plunkett was really in command as he checked the Philadelphia defense.
Yes, he had good pass protection. He hung in there tough. Just watched very carefully to see who was open. Branch hit the open area, got the ball to him perfectly. Touchdown, Oakland, and they go ahead 6-0.
Branch brought the ball unmolested in the end zone. He was whacked after he caught it, but he held on as Bunting got to him, and now Chris Barr will try to make it 7-0 with 8:56 remaining in the first quarter. Barr made 41 out of 44 extra point attempts during the season. Chandler holding the ball. He gets it down. Barr gets it up. 7-0 Oakland. With 8:56 remaining in the first quarter, the Eagles will get the ball again. They were intercepted at the 30-yard line, and the Raiders went in for the first points of the game. With the score, Oakland 7 and the Eagles nothing. Let's take time out.
Sam, as your accountant, I'm advising you to do something about your office copier.
What's wrong, George?
You keep replacing them all the time. That's expensive, Sam, and peculiar.
But my copying needs keep changing, so I have to keep changing my copier. That's the way life is.
You have to get a big, expensive, inflexible copier that's just as big, just as expensive, and just as inflexible as your last big, expensive, inflexible copier. That's life.
That isn't life?
Sam, next time, get a Sharp 800 series plain paper copier with microprocessor technology.
Oh?
The basic copier, the high-speed copier, the reduction copier, doesn't matter.
No.
Sharp copiers are all flexible. As your needs change, you don't go out and get another copier. You add options. You need automatic document feeding, you get an option. You need electronic collating, you get an option, you see?
Yeah.
Flexible.
Now I see what they mean when they say sharp people plan ahead. For more information, call your local authorized Sharp dealer or 800-447-4700. In Illinois, call 800-322-4400.
Chris Barr will kick it off. The Philadelphia Eagles came into this game favored, but it's the Raiders on top 7-0. Ironic that Jaworski was intercepted only 12 times during the regular season. Threw the ball right into the hands of Rod Martin. He returned it to the Philadelphia 30, and the touchdown pass covered 2 yards to Cliff Branch, who had set it up with a reception at the 5-yard line.
It wasn't so bad that the ball was intercepted, and that's bad enough, but it was the manner with which he threw the football. Jack, he ran a play-action pass. The fake was very poor. The mesh between the back, Montgomery, and the quarterback was bad. He went back into the pocket, looked like he had nervous feet, threw the ball right to Martin, now they're behind 7-0.
Here's the kickoff by Barr. High inside the 5. Campfield takes it on the 4. He's to the 10 up the middle, 15-20, and fell over his own man and dives out to the 25-yard line. Derek Jensen covered him after he tripped over his teammate. So the Eagles, who returned the ball the first time to the 24, have returned it this trip to the 25.
It'll be interesting to see how they respond now after they get a shock. After they get a shock and go behind 7-0, especially Jaworski. Be interesting to see how he responds to that kind of adversity on the very first series of the game.
Charles Smith is to the left and Carmichael's to the right, and Lester Hayes is playing right on top of Carmichael. Now he backs away. It's first down for the Eagles with Harris and Montgomery. And motion is Charles Smith to the right side, and Jaworski hands off to Montgomery, peels it up the middle, and has to spin for about 2 yards. He was hit right at the line of scrimmage. The linebacker, Rod Martin, who is sparkling here in the early going, was there, and Montgomery got 2.
The other thing's going to be very important as we go along, Jack. Philadelphia feels that they have to, I'm sure they feel they have to run the football. Montgomery is the key. But if they go behind by much more of a margin, as the game progresses, it's going to be very, very tough for them to get back into the ball game unless they throw the ball. And Oakland, that's what Oakland wants them to do. They want them to throw the ball, and they don't think they can win if they have to throw the ball consistently.
Second down and 7, and Jaworski runs the ball on a bit of a delay to Montgomery. Tried to get outside and couldn't. He's up to the 24, that's all, and it'll be third down. Third down and 6. Dave Browning, the defensive end, was there to make the stop. Oakland is not slouchy at all in that department up front. They're tough, Hank.
Oh, yes, they are. They're 6th in total defense during the course of the season, 2nd against the rush, 10 against the pass. And again, the key, you have to always be aware and understand and know where Ted Hendricks is, and you must use a variety of things from a signal standpoint as far as the rhythm and the cadence is concerned. They're in bump and run now.
Rodney Parker, the third wide receiver for the Eagles. Third down and 6 from their own 28. Jaworski with a long count. He is back to throw. He runs out of the pocket. He could run, but he's being chased now and has to dump the ball, and it is incomplete and almost intercepted. Diving for the ball was Lester Hayes, who always seems to be there. And it's fourth down and punting time for Max Roniger and the Eagles. We have 7:16 left in the first quarter. The Oakland Raiders lead by the score of 7-0. And Ira Matthews goes back to get the punt inside his 35 from Max Roniger, who averaged 39.3 per kick during the year. He had 1 block.
They do a great job of playing man-for-man coverage. Hayes that time was illustrated again. You cannot play the ball. You have to stay with your man, even though he makes a variety of moves inside and outside. Looks like it's Oakland offside.
Now, there's some contact made. Now, whether the lineman of the Eagles, I don't even know if he was in a down position, had moved. I don't think he was in a down position, and this might be a 5-yard penalty against Oakland. It's going to cost somebody 5 because there was contact made. It'll be encroachment. Stops the clock with 7:16 left in the first quarter. Oakland on top of the score of 7-0 on the 2-yard touchdown pass to Cliff Branch. The officials sort things out. And offside against the Raiders is the call. But that will not be enough for a first down. It's going to be a fourth down play, and they'll still have to kick.
Defense made contact. Fourth down.
Down, the Raiders bring in some different personnel guarding against the run on fourth down because it's fourth down and 1.5 yards. And we have seen the Philadelphia Eagles snap it to the blocking back rather than the kicker and run it. And LeMaster is that blocking back. They've used that play frequently. Meanwhile, Roniger stands waiting for Mark Slater's snap. Roniger's at his 20-yard line. Fourth down and 1.5 yards. Down to 2 seconds on the 30-second clock. There's the snap, and Roniger kicks it away. Kicks it high, a handy kick, and Ira Matthews is driven back to the 20. He caught it there. He's trying to get away, but can't. He's down inside the 25-yard line. Good coverage after a dandy punt by Max Roniger. Jerry Robinson downfield to make the tackle after a 46-yard kick by Roniger, and the Raiders are back at their 22-yard line. We have 7:06 left in the first quarter. Timeout on the field with a score: Oakland 7, the Eagles nothing.
Joe McConnell here.
And Walter Payton.
Walter, when a Chicagoland Buick dealer tells a customer about the 1981 Buick Riviera, does he let him know all the features that come standard?
Joe, he wouldn't have enough time.
Oh, your Buick dealer, they're talking your language. We're talking what you want in a car.
You know what I'd tell a customer about the 81 Riviera if I were a Buick dealer?
What?
That the kitchen sink's just not available.
Now, listen, that's the way we're talking. We'd like to see you walking. Your Buick dealers right now. Your Buick dealers talking your language right now.
Walter, just listen to what comes standard on the new Riviera. Front-wheel drive, air conditioning, a turbocharger engine, automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, power windows, power door locks, a power seat for the driver, a digital clock. Yeah.
You don't have enough time either.
Your Buick dealers are talking your language right now.
I think the Oakland Raiders have to be careful now that they don't make a mistake back at their 22-yard line.
Exactly right. And They're the kind of a team, however, they do not make a lot of mistakes because of the style of their play. They just use a lot of lead blocking. They got big, strong linemen. They're going to muscle the ball straight at you and try to get the ball down the field. They're going to take many chances. They'll run right here probably or right up the middle on this particular play. I can't quite see the angle. No, they're going to go
Here
left.
comes Kenny King trying to get outside left. He's out to the 25 and out to the 27, and he got 5 yards on the carry, and Frank Lemester, the linebacker, tackled him for the Eagles.
Unusual that time, and that the tight end was on the right side, the slot was on the left. Slot again, meaning that the receivers, both of whom were on the left side, very rarely do you run to that side, but they did that time. They destroyed the keys that they have established, and they picked up a good gain on the play.
2nd down and 5. From the 28-yard line, 27-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Van Egan is the lone setback now. King is on a wing. Here's a give to Van Egan. Cuts it back to the right. Comes out to the 30. Tackled at the 32. Short of a first down by about a yard. Randy Logan up quickly to make the tackle. I know, Hank, that you like Jerry Robinson, the Philadelphia linebacker, about as well as you like anybody on their team.
Yes, he definitely is a great football player, and he's got a terrific future. On a scale of 0 to 5, 5 being the best and 0 being the worst, you would have to classify at this stage of his career Jerry Robinson as being a 4.5, which is very, very high for a young player.
Van Egan, the big fullback, is a 225-pounder. He's in the backfield, and on the wing is Derek Jensen to help with the blocking. And now Kenny King goes in motion. Here's a quarterback sneak by Plunkett. He got very little, and a flag goes down.
I don't think they had enough men on the line of scrimmage.
We'll check the flag as Plunkett tried a quarterback sneak. He's a big kid himself. It's 6'2", 205. He needed about a yard.
Looks like there was confusion as to who was going to go in motion. The tight end looked like he was going to go in motion, then stopped. Illegal procedure.
And a procedure call against Oakland will make it 3rd down and 6. But first of all, we'll determine on 3rd down whether or not Plunkett made the first down with that quarterback sneak. And it's very difficult to judge from where we are. My guess is that he is short by about 6 inches, in which case Philadelphia might decline the penalty and cause Oakland to punt the ball. And speaking of punting, you ought to see Ray Guy when he practices down here in the Superdome. It's something, isn't it?
It looks like it's got helium in it, doesn't it?
Plunkett was indeed short, and if the Eagles decline the penalty, it will be 4th down. And unless the Raiders, who are leading 7-0 here with 5:40 remaining in the first quarter, want to get
illegal shift. Decline. 4th down.
It was an illegal shift against the Oakland Raiders. Declined. It's 4th down and punting time.
Surprising that they would have that kind of a mistake in this game, because they just ran a quarterback sneak and trying to get somebody across the formation. It was surprising that there was a mix-up as to who was supposed to go in motion, and that's what created the problem.
John Shara waits inside his 25. He might not be deep enough with Ray Guy kicking it. He averaged 44 yards a kick during the regular season, and he was not blocked at all. He's a member of the Pro Bowl team, and will be in Honolulu 1 week from today for the Pro Bowl. There's the snap. It's a good one. And there's the kick by Guy, and it's a line drive sort. Not too good. Shira takes it on the 25. Quickly back to the 30, running left 35-yard line. Breaks one tackle, and then is taken down at the 37. A fine return from the 20 to the 37 by Shira. Mario Serrato, the linebacker, downfield to make the tackle after a 43-yard line drive punt by Ray Guy. We have 5:28 left in the first quarter. And with the score, Oakland 7, the Eagles nothing. Let's take time out. This bud's for all those hard-working folks who turn halftime into showtime. Yeah, here's to the marching band.
There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. So here's to you. You know it isn't only what you say, it's what you do.
That's right, for every member of the band. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
You gotta agree, Jack. Anybody who can stay in step while playing the tuba deserves a cold Bud.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beer is coming through.
You play tuba, Hank?
No, but I've had coaching days when I wished I could.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
The Raiders lead. The linebacker, Rod Martin out of USC intercepted the ball. The first pass that Jaworski threw returned it to the Philadelphia Eagle 30. A pass to Cliff Branch set it up first and goal at the 5, and a 2-yard touchdown pass put Oakland on the board, and Chris Barr added the extra point. Now Philadelphia has the ball for the third time in this first quarter. They added to their 24, their 25, and now they're 37.
And again, it's going to be imperative that Philadelphia run the ball well. Montgomery is a key for them, and he got a good gain on the very first play of the game, and since that time hasn't done much.
The Raiders are in their 3-man front, but they really disguise things. It's a first down from the Eagle 37-yard line. Montgomery and Leroy Harris are in the backfield and in the I formation. Here's Jaworski with a first down pass. Dumps it off short, and it's caught. It's caught across the 40-yard line to the 42. Burgess Owens made the tackle on the tight end, Scott Prepley, and that is a difficult pattern to try to stop, and it's good for a gain of 8 yards for the Eagles.
All Prepley did was go out into the flat area, call it a drag-out pattern, and he threw the ball quickly. Burgess Owen came over to make the play. Burgess Owen, of course, is the free safety, number 44 of the Oakland Raiders.
Second down and 2 for the Eagles now from their own 45. High formation. And here's Jaworski to the tailback, Montgomery, and he spins out near the 48, and he has a first down. Montgomery tackled by Rod Martin, who's all over the field here in the early going. Ball is marked down at the Eagle 48, first down.
The run personality of Philadelphia is geared to the running of Montgomery, and of course it helps if they can run even modestly, why they can utilize the play-action passes that they like to throw, especially on first down situations.
Carmichael is to the right side. Charles Smith is to the left, wearing a special mask on his helmet. And the Eagles are in the eye.
And Osteen is playing the right side. Hayes is playing the left side. They are not using Hayes.
Here's a toss to Montgomery. He's in trouble trying to get outside, and he lost the yard. Penetration by Matt Millen, the linebacker. Ted Hendricks came over, along with Reggie Kinlaw, the nose guard, and Montgomery lost the yard.
One thing I'm sure Oakland has to feel strongly about, and they must do, they cannot, on obvious passing situations, just go after the quarterback without always being concerned about Montgomery. They have to have somebody stay home and be the policeman, be the cop, and make sure they have him faded, because they like to run him on obvious passing situations. Somebody has to stay at home to make sure they check on him.
Second down and 11 for the Eagles from their own 47. Motion by Krepley, the tight end. He's back to throw. Jaworski dumps it off short to Montgomery on a screen. Got one good block. He's to midfield, down to the 45, down to the 40 of Oakland for a first down for the Philadelphia Eagles on the screen pass to Montgomery. And what a block was made. I think it was by Woody Peoples, the right guard.
It was Woody Peoples, and he really did a super job on a quick screen to Montgomery. But that's just like a running play, just like a play to the outside. He goes back into the pocket, throws a screen, a quick screen to Montgomery over the top. It's set up nicely out in front. Guy Morris is out in front, doesn't get a block, but he creates enough of a problem where he provided running room for Montgomery.
Now split backs, and a fake to Harris to give to Montgomery, running left, and he lost a yard. Penetration was made by the defensive end, Dave Browning, and he tripped him up. And Reggie Kinlaw was also there to jam things up, and Montgomery lost a yard.
Interestingly enough, Jack, the last 2 times they ran the ball, they ran counter plays, faking inside to the fullback. That time it was kind of a quick Statue of Liberty play, but the Oakland defense responded very, very well and stopped him for a loss of about a yard.
2:40 left in the first quarter. The Raiders lead 7-0. John Spagnola, the tight end, checks in for Philadelphia. And he sets up on the left side, and Krepley becomes a wingback. Carmichael and Smith are to the right. And Harris is the lone setback with Montgomery out of there. Here is Jaworski back to throw. He is rushed out of the pocket, throws. It's caught by Harris. He is to the line of scrimmage. breaks one tackle and gains 2 yards on the play. 1 yard. He's back to the original line of scrimmage, and it's 3rd down and 10. It looked wide open, but great pursuit by the Raiders.
Yes, terrific pursuit, and of course Harris does not have that great quickness or blazing speed.
Had Montgomery caught that ball, he'd have raised heck.
He'd have made some yardage on the play, but Harris is not that kind of a back. By the time he made a decision to cut back inside, it was all over. Jaworski did a good job of getting rid of the football under that pressure situation.
Rod Martin made another tackle. He's the one who intercepted the ball, which led to the Oakland touchdown here at the outset of Super Bowl 15. It's 3rd down and 10 for the Eagles at the Oakland 40-yard line. Carmichael comes left along with Smith. And Lester Hayes comes over to this side of the field along with Dwayne Osteen. Now Carmichael goes in motion and breaks up field. Here's Jaworski back to throw. Chased out of the pocket. He looks and throws long downfield into the end zone. Incomplete.
Touchdown.
Caught the ball for a touchdown. Rodney Parker caught the ball.
Flag down on the play.
Flag down, and I kind of thought that Carmichael was in motion before the snap of the ball.
Yeah, he definitely was. There's something that he doesn't do, and I talked about that earlier, about the fact that he has to go in motion to get open against the bump and run, but he didn't do it well. He didn't execute, and for that reason he cost his team 5 yards and a touchdown.
I didn't think that Parker had any chance at all to catch the ball, but I sure was looking for that flag because it was obvious that Carmichael was in
illegal motion, number 17.
That'll make it 3rd down and 15 back at the Oakland 45 as the penalty denies the Philadelphia Eagles the touchdown. And now it's 3rd and 15.
People who go in motion must take a step away from the line of scrimmage before they get upfield. It's very obvious that Carmichael has not done that very well, and they try to do that in this game because he went upfield prematurely and cost his team 5 yards.
Parker really did a heck of a job as he caught the ball over Burgess Owens, but it was all for naught. Now it's 3rd and 15 for the Eagles. Parker is still in there. Carmichael back in motion. Here's Jaworski back to throw. Sets up in the pocket and throws long over the middle. And incomplete to Parker, who almost made a sensational catch at the 25-yard line. But he was popped, and he dropped it. Otis McKinney, the extra back, nailed him as he was bobbling the ball, and it's punting time for Runager and the Eagles.
There again is an illustration, Jack, if you're going to throw the ball over the middle, make sure that you throw it at the numbers from the neck down. It's very difficult to catch that ball up high above the head, because you get a shot, you don't have a chance to bring it in, and usually fumble the ball.
Now Moody and Matthews are back there, and a fair catch is called for at the 14-yard line by Matthews. He fumbled the ball but held on, and the Raiders are back at their 14 with 1:06 remaining in the first quarter. Runager punted the ball only 31 yards, but good coverage and a fair catch at the 14. There's a pause in the action, and let's take time out.
A trip in some cars is really a series of stops to let you recover from the miles in between. That, however, is decidedly not the case with our new 1981 Buick LeSabre. It's roomy, it's luxurious, it can carry up to 6 people quite comfortably. See your Buick dealer today about buying or leasing a new 1981 Buick LeSabre, a car you'll enjoy getting into rather than out of.
Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick?
Hi, Pat Summerall to say that True Value Hardware stores offer a wide selection of quality master mechanic hand tools so you can choose the right tool for the project at hand. Like the 12-foot power tape rule with locking toggle blade for just $5.48. Or the home brazing torch kit, complete with rods, fuel, and instructions for just $15.48. Like all master mechanic tools, both are backed by the promise of satisfaction or a free replacement, and they're sold only at participating True Value Hardware stores and home centers.
Which denied them the touchdown. They have Oakland back at their 14-yard line. Plunkett is 2 for 2 in the passing department, and Wilbur Montgomery has lost yardage the last 3 times he has carried the ball. He's rushed 6 times, 12 yards.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see a play-action pass of some kind here. Double wing formation. If they run the ball, they run it to the left of the wing-back formation, or possibly straight ahead. There's a pass.
There's a pass to the left sideline to Branch. He caught it and ran out of bounds and picked up 4 yards on the play. Herman Edwards covering on the corner, but how in the world do you stop that one?
You can't, because Edwards is playing very soft, and they took advantage of the fact they threw in front of him and picked up a nice gain on the play.
What do you think of Jim Plunkett, Hank?
Oh, I think he's super, Jack. I've always liked him. We played against him when he was at New England, when I was at Kansas City. I always thought he was a great quarterback. He had some bad things happen to him from an injury standpoint, but he's very bright, intelligent, great people, and an excellent quarterback.
Here's Kenny King coming up the middle and knocked down at the 20-yard line. He is wrestled down by Claude Humphrey, who is in there, and it's going to be 3rd down and 4 for the Oakland Raiders. 45 seconds left in the first quarter. The Raiders leading 7-0. As King carried out to the 20-yard line. 75,500 in the Superdome. And by the way, the tickets for the game were going for less than the $40 price right at game time.
Look at that. Look at all the room on the outside again with Branch. They're double covering him now.
Here comes Plunkett back to throw. A lot of protection. Now he is on the run, and he throws to the left sideline, and it's caught by Branch. He's the midfield. He's going to score to the 30, 20. He's gone. Touchdown, Branch. Plunkett ran out of the pocket. It's Branch. Kenny King caught the ball and raced down in. The two receivers were in the same area, and it was Branch escorting Kenny King down the sideline for the touchdown to make it 13-0.
Yes, they had they doubled the outside receiver, which meant a linebacker had to cover King, man for man. They got the ball to King, and once he got possession of it, it was a bye-bye blues because he went all the way for the touchdown, and he can fly 80 yards to Kenny King. Touchdown, Oakland.
And we have 9 seconds remaining in the first quarter. That was a 3rd down and 4 play. Plunkett was back to throw, ran out of the pocket. Kind of looked like a desperation pass. He caught it over the Philadelphia cornerback, Herman Edwards, and went on in for the score. He got behind Edwards, and that was it. Here's the extra point by Chris Barr, and it is good. So the Raiders, underdogs in the game, are ahead by the score of 14-0 with only 9 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Hank, weren't both receivers over there, Branch along with Kenny King?
Yes, they were out there very close together, but here again, they were rolling up. The safety man on that side had to make a mistake of some kind. That's a strong safety, Randy Logan, because King was supposed to have been covered by a linebacker. The linebacker was not there. It looked like it was Edwards' responsibility, but it really wasn't. Threw over the top of Edwards. I don't know what happened to the guy behind him, but he wasn't there. King goes all the way for the touchdown.
And it's 14-0 with 9 seconds remaining in the first quarter. That's what Hank Stam was talking about. If the Eagles get behind and have to get away from their running game, they're in trouble.
They're going to have, if they have to throw the ball consistently to get back in this football game, it's going to be very difficult. They're capable, but it's going to be a lot tougher that way than it would be if they had a chance to do what they wanted to do from a run standpoint.
80-yard touchdown play. Once Kenny King got out there, no one was going to catch him. Now Chris Farr will kick off, and it is Campfield back waiting for it. The kick is a short one, and it's bouncing around and taken on the 14 by Campfield, and his return is out to the 26-yard line. So Oakland's been able to cover those kicks, and the quarter ends, and the Eagles will start 14 points behind at their 26-yard line. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Oakland 14, Philadelphia Eagles nothing.
Your bed and light your way when day is done. We make you pretty, we make you smile. Gee. We bring the things to live in. We bring the things to life.
At GE, we're in the business of bringing good things to life by making products that make life a little easier, a little better. And you know something? We think that's a pretty nice business to be in.
We make you pretty, we make you smile. We bring good things to live in. We bring good things to life. We bring good things to life.
Now, one of the last great mysteries of World War II is revealed. What took place in Hitler's bunker? On Tuesday, CBS Television presents a startling look at the final days of Eva Braun and Adolf Hitler.
I will defeat them all. I will defy the entire world.
Anthony Hopkins and Susan Blakely star in The Bunker, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain on CBS television.
We start the second quarter, Super Bowl 15. This is the fourth time that Philadelphia's had the ball. They had it at the 24, 25, 37. Now at their 26, and they have nary a point, and they trail 14-0.
And from a psychological standpoint, it has to have a strong bearing on their mental attitude right now. It's going to be interesting to see how they can respond to what's happened to them so far. They've done a good job of coming back in the past during the course of the season, and I'm sure they'll do a good job of coming in and hanging in there tough and trying to make something happen.
First down at their 25-yard line. Jaworski gives to Montgomery. Pops it up the middle and breaks out across the 30, and he's out near the 34-yard line and got about 8 yards on the carry.
One thing that you can't ever do when you get down 14 points, you got to understand that 2 big plays can get you right back in the ball game. You can't throw away the plan. You have to keep after what you think you could do going into the ball game. You had 2 weeks to prepare. You felt that you could do certain things, and you better stay with it, because if you don't, you start playing grab-bag football, you're really going to be in trouble. The first play was a good illustration of the fact they felt they could run, and they did a good job on the very first down.
Second down and 2. Oakland really has it stacked up front with Millen right at the line of scrimmage. Motion by Charlie Smith, and the give to Harris. He is hit at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down with no gain. Millen was one of the tacklers, and also in on the play was Dave Browning and Reggie Kinlaw. They have Matusek, Kinlaw, and Browning up front. The linebackers are Hendricks, Millen, McClanahan, and Rod Martin. Cornerbacks are Lester Hayes and Dwayne Osteen. Mike Davis, the hero in Cleveland, along with Burgess Owens, are the safety men. It's 3rd and 2, Philadelphia.
And how about Oakland with 54 sacks and 35 interceptions? Boy, that's unbelievable.
Down and 2 for the Eagles. They're trailing 14-0 with 13:35 left in the half. Here's Jaworski back to throw. Needs a couple of yards. He throws to the left sideline. It's caught at the 40 to the 45 to midfield. And the tight end goes down into Oakland territory. Down to the 44, and that is Spagnola. Now some late hits down there, but no flags. First down, Eagles.
Nice-looking play-action pass, and there again, that's what they like to do, and that's Jaworski's personality. He looks very, very efficient and effective when he throws play-action passes, taking that time to Montgomery, throwing to the outside to the tight end. They're so concerned about stopping Carmichael that the tight end should be able to catch quite a few balls in this game this afternoon, talking about Philadelphia.
Tight end is Kreppley on the right side. Carmichael's to the left, Smith to the right. And a first down. That was the 3rd down throw by Jaworski. Here is his
play
pass coming up. He throws long downfield for Smith near the end zone. Incomplete. And covering on the play was Lester Hayes. Man, he does it all. He stayed right with him step for step and broke it up at the goal line.
I tell you something, though, Jack. It looked like had he thrown the ball a little bit farther, he might have had a chance to make the play. He had a step on him. Looked like he might have had a step on him. He was in bump and run coverage. He turned his back completely to the inside, watched him.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Eagles. They're really chucking Carmichael as he tries to get off the line of scrimmage. And it's 2nd down and 10. In the backfield with Jaworski. He's back to throw. Sets up. No pressure. Long over the middle. Caught at the 25. Down to the 20. First down for Philadelphia. What a catch that was by Montgomery. He was flying when he caught the ball. Burgess Owens stopped him at the Oakland 20-yard line.
Burgess Owens, the safety man, when they play bump and run, he's very deep. And if you can get by the outside people, and of course, Montgomery is on a linebacker, man for man. Got the ball right inside in good shape, and he picked up the first down.
Oh, long pass to Spagnola. And yet another pass to Montgomery, and the Eagles are at the 20-yard line. They trail 14-0. Motion motion by Rodney Parker. Jaworski takes the snap, gives to Montgomery, running left. Harris, a good block. Montgomery cuts it back inside the 15-yard line, and he's tackled at the Oakland 13 by Dave Browning. Good block by the fullback, Leroy Harris.
Yes, it was, and that's why he's in there. He is an excellent blocker. He doesn't contribute a great deal from a run standpoint, but you have to still respect him because he's capable, but he's an excellent blocker.
Marker down on the Oakland 14, and a player is stretched out. That is Dave Browning, who made the tackle. He's being tended to. Stops the clock with 11:38 remaining in the half. The Raiders leading 14-0, and now the Eagles will have second down and 5 from the Oakland 14-yard line. Now we have a timeout, and with the score 14-0 in favor of Oakland, let us take timeout.
Have you been putting off buying that new car or truck because interest rates are too high? Well, take a good look. Sure, the bank prime rate is way up. Sure, home mortgage costs are up. But the cost of financing with GMAC hasn't rocketed up like everything else. Your GM dealer who uses GMAC not only has money available right now, but at rates that haven't changed that much in the past few years. So come on into your GM dealer and check out that new Chevy, Pontiac, Olds, Buick, Cadillac, or GMC truck today.
United Van Lines presents Stiller and Mira. Don't turn around, Ilse. Just say goodbye.
Rick, darling, I can't live without you.
No tears. I'll see you in the States.
You're lying. You haven't even packed.
Wrong, sweetheart. I called my United Van Lines agent. He took care of everything. Packing, customs.
Rick, that's impossible.
Not to United Van Lines. They never overpromise.
What about Sam, your piano player?
Sam's coming with us. United shipped his piano on ahead. Part of United's total service.
But, Rick, I'm still married.
That's one thing United can't do nothing about, kid.
United Van Lines. We're in the yellow pages.
Well, the Eagles fell behind 14-0 in their playoff game against Minnesota. Came back to beat the Vikings 31-16. They have a comparable task on their hands right now. Dave Browning went off the field under his own power. And Cedric Hardman is in there at the right defensive end for Oakland. Second and 5 for the Eagles at the Oakland 14-yard line. Right in Crefley on the right side. Here's Jaworski on a delay to Leroy Harris. Gets only a couple, if two, down near the 12-yard line. It's going to be third down, about 2.5 for the Eagles. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
Super Bowl 15 on WBBM Chicago Sports Radio 78.
Harris gained only a yard, and it's third and 3 as Dave Browning comes back into the game. Cedric Hardman made that last tackle.
You'll see a pass here probably, or a play-action pass. They're in a double-tight, double-wing formation. So it'll be a pocket pass in all probability. The outside people are in bump and run. They might try to go up on top.
The fake is to Montgomery. Jaworski sets up the throw. He's chased out of the pocket. Throws inside the 15, incomplete. Montgomery had it slither through his hands at about the line of scrimmage. Ted Hendricks and Matt Millen, the linebackers, were covering. It's fourth down, and Tony Franklin will come in to try to put the Eagles on the scoreboard. Pretty good pressure by the Raiders that trip.
Yes, it was, and it was a bootleg pattern. You don't really get much of a play-action fake with only one back in the backfield, and that's what they tried to do. And then he tried to throw the ball way back over the other side to Montgomery, but he was harassed on the play. Didn't have much of a chance to get the ball to him like he wanted to, and now they're going to kick a field goal.
30-yard try by Tony Franklin. He's 6 out of 6 as of late. 16 out of 31 during the regular season. John Shira holds the ball, and Guy Morris will snap it. The snap is good. The kick is good, and the Eagles are on the board. Trailing by 11. With 10:28 remaining in the half. A timeout on the field with the score of the Oakland Raiders 14, the Philadelphia Eagles 3.
Hello, Rusty Jones.
Hey, how are you?
Goodbye, Rusty Cars.
Hi, I'm Rusty Jones. What? Rusty Jones Rust Proof. You know, I can save your car from rust. You can? Sure, because I'm more than just rust proofing. I'm the one option you can buy for your car that actually appreciates some value. How's that? I'll stick with your new car, protecting it from rust for as long as you own it. And everybody knows a rust-free car is worth more trade-in time.
You really stick with my car?
Day and night, winter and summer.
No vacation?
Not even a coffee break.
No gimmicks?
Nope, I just want your car to stay rust-free, so you can say,
Hello, Rusty Jones. Goodbye, Rusty Cars. Hello, Rusty Jones. Goodbye, goodbye,
Look for new car dealers that offer Rusty Jones Car Saver system. It's a sure sign that they care.
Arthur Whittington and Keith Moody will be back, along with Derek Jensen, to get the kick from Tony Franklin.
You know, one thing that you have to be very, very careful of, you like to get points and you like to go ahead early, but you got to be careful that if you do go ahead, like Oakland has gone ahead 14-0, now it's 14-3, that you don't get the impression that it's going to be an easy game and you kind of let down a little bit. Next thing you know, you're fighting for your life, and it becomes very difficult for you. This is going to be very important here for Oakland to come back and do a good job with offense.
Here's a kick taken on the 2-yard line by Moody, and as he whacked at the 19-yard line, the ball came loose. The ball came loose, and it appears that Oakland got it back. Moody was really blasted downfield. I mean, he was hit. Baker was downfield to make the tackle. The ball came loose, but Oakland got it back, and Moody is not getting up right away, and that is understandable. What a hit by Baker.
Boy, wasn't that a shot? That was really, it's amazing. It's really amazing that they didn't lose the football, and what happened on the play, he felt the pressure coming and slowed down a little bit, and that's why he took such a shot.
In fact, we've seen Moody, rather new kick return man for Oakland, and he really hasn't impressed us, has he?
No, he really hasn't. He really hasn't. I'm surprised that they continue to keep him back there.
Ron Becker came downfield and really blasted him right after the Oakland 20-yard line with 10:18 remaining in the half. The ball came loose, but Oakland was able to get it back. Perry Harrington had a shot at it for the Eagles, but couldn't come away with it.
You know, Oakland really hasn't had very good field position at all, except on the very first opportunity. They got the ball on the 30-yard line and took advantage of it and got 7 points. But since that time, they were on their own 22, their own 14. Now they have it on their 20, but from the 14, they threw an 80-yard touchdown pass to King, and they're now ahead 14-3.
The Raiders with a fine offensive line of Dalby, Upshaw, Marvin, Lawrence, and Shell come out. Raymond Chester is the tight end. Branch comes to the left side, Bob Chandler to the right. Chester lines up on the right side, and Whittington is in the backfield with Van Egan.
Edwards is playing Branch very soft on first down. They ought to be able to throw some.
Plunkett looking to throw. He looks and throws long for Branch, way downfield, and incomplete. They were going right where Hank Stram pointed out. And covering on the corner was Roynell Young. Incomplete, 2nd and 10, and Oakland leading 14-3, win for another quick 6.
Yes, but I think on first down, the way they're playing, Jack, I really think they'd be more effective throwing in front of, especially Roynell Young and also Herman Edwards, because they're very conscious of the deep speed of these two outstanding receivers, and especially Branch. They have to play him soft, and for that reason, they ought to be able to throw in front.
That's the first incompletion thrown by Plunkett, who is 4 out of 5, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards. Second down and 10 from the 20-yard line for Plunkett. And here's a delay to Whittington, and he's wrestled down for a loss by Lemaster. And Lemaster, the linebacker, got in there and knocked him down for a loss of 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 12. Whittington lost 2. The Eagles have a little more life about them now, Hank.
Yeah, they're coming back a little bit. I think they overcame the shock of those first 2 touchdowns, and they're responding well to this pressure situation, doing a good job defensively.
Kenny King checks back in for the Raiders, who are at their 18, 3rd and 12. Plunkett brings them out. Chandler goes to the right side, and so does Branch. Blackmore comes up to meet Branch right at the line of scrimmage.
They might try to run left outside if they run the football. No, they're going to throw the ball again.
Rush. Plunkett sets up, runs out of the pocket. He is hit at the 20, and down he goes at the 23, and it's kicking time for Oakland. Plunkett, who is not afraid to run with the ball, was tackled by King Clark, the linebacker. Punting time for Oakland, and the Eagles have the momentum swinging to them with 9:09 remaining in the half.
It could be very important for Raymond Guy to pump this ball up there and get it downfield much better than he did the last time he kicked. He kicked a frozen rope, a very low kick, and that's not his style. He's got to get it up in the air and get it downfield because he's such a great kicker.
Guy will get it away from about his 13-yard line, and John Shira waits inside his 35. We wait for the snap from Todd Christensen. snap is good, and Guy gets into it. And it's not a very good kick again. Taken by Shira on the 35, running left to the 40, and tackled at the 41, and there's a flag thrown. Probably a clip. Shira was tackled at the 41. Downfield was Jeff Barnes, an Oakland linebacker, to make the hit.
Surprising. Guy, under these perfect conditions, has kicked twice, and both times was very unimpressive with the way he kicked the football.
He kicked 43 yards and 42 yards, but really didn't get the ball up in the air, and this is going to be a penalty against the Eagles. So instead of having it at their 40-yard line, they'll mark it back at the 25.
Timeout, man. Personal foul clipping on the return, number 63.
Ron Baker, who made a big hit earlier, was called on a clip, and now the Philadelphia Eagles have taken a timeout with 8:23 remaining. They're back at their 25-yard line. And with the score, Oakland 14, the Eagles 3, let us take timeout.
The Office of the Future makes corrections right here on the display screen.
Sends text electronically from your office to anywhere.
Move whole paragraphs with a touch of a button.
The old-fashioned typewriter.
It even adds and subtracts, multiplies and divides.
Change margin.
Change page numbers. Change heading.
Column.
Type style. The world of business machines. It's a confusing tangle of equipment, capabilities, and promises. But now, out of the confusion, emerges Exxon Office Systems Company. We've innovated such advances in office technology as Quicks, the intelligent typewriter, an electronic marvel with a host of automatic features that free secretaries from the monotony of routine office typing. We also make other advanced office products. But most of all, we want to help make your office more productive. Introducing Exxon Office Systems. For information, call 800-327-6666. In Florida, call 1-800-432-0800.
Hank Stram and Jack Buck with you from the Superdome in New Orleans. 8:23 left in the half. The Raiders leading 14-3. The Eagles have the ball at their own 25. First down. This is the 5th time that they've had the ball. The last time, they came up with a field goal by Tony Franklin of 30 yards. Their only score of the game. Dave Hare is playing the nose guard spot now for the Raiders. Montgomery, the lone setback, as Harris is on a wing. And on first down, Jaworski spins and throws to the left sideline on a screen, and the play comes out near the 29-yard line. Good for about 4 yards on the play. Harold Carmichael got the ball. And he was wrestled down by Bob Nelson, the linebacker.
That's the first time they've tried to get the ball to Carmichael. That time the defensive back on that side, Osteen, was playing off of him. Normally they like to play him with bump and run. He was off that time, threw the quick screen, and he picked up a few yards on the play. But he's not going to hurt you very much on those kind of passes.
Second down and 6 for the Eagles from their own 29. Now Harris is the setback, and Montgomery goes wide in a receiver spot. Jaworski straight back to throw, gets it out, and it's dropped by Montgomery. Went up in the air after crossing the 35-yard line, and he dropped the ball. It would have been a first down. He was covered by Mike Davis, who was incomplete third down.
I don't know why he jumped for the ball that time, Jack. It wasn't that high. At least it didn't look like it was that high for him to have to get off the ground to try to make the catch.
Went right through his hands, and Jaworski is now 6 out of 12 for 71 yards with 1 intercepted.
So many times receivers go to a spot, and instead of anchoring at that spot, they keep backpedaling or jump up in the air. And they make a very easy catch very difficult because it winds up trying to catch the ball about waist high.
Carmichael and Smith are both to the right as Jaworski sets up on 3rd and 6 from his 29. And the blitz is on, and the pass is incomplete, thrown behind Campfield. And Oakland had that one covered in all directions. They were blitzing with Hendrick coming up the middle.
Yes, they did. And that time it was interesting to watch Carmichael. He was on the right side in the slot. He knew the ball was not coming into him. He did not make any kind of an attempt to get downfield to tell the people it was going to be a pass pattern. And that always makes it a lot easier for the secondary.
Ira Matthews goes back to get Roniger's punt. Roniger has kicked twice, 46 yards, 31 yards, kicking again now from about his 20-yard line. Matthews waits at his 30.
Everybody talks about Hendricks being a freelance linebacker, but he really isn't.
Here's a kick by Roniger away from the receiver. Matthews took it on the 38. He's brought down immediately, but good field position for the Raiders with 7:23 left in the half. John Shira downfield for the Eagles to make the tackle.
Hendricks does not roam the area without a disciplined responsibility. He can go any place he wants to go to try to disturb the quarterback, and the quarterback's read it and rhythm. But when the ball is snapped, he has to be in a certain gap, in a certain area, because that's the pattern of the defense.
Oakland has it at their own 36. A pause in the action with the score, Oakland 14, the Eagles 3. Let's take time out.
Hi, Pat Summerall to say that there are times you may want dim lights and soft music, but not when you turn on your flashlight or portable radio. That's why you should depend on Rayovac heavy-duty supercells from True Value hardware stores. Long-lasting Rayovac cells come in a variety of sizes for everything from calculators to electronic games. So restore full power to dim flashlights, faint radios, and slow tape recorders. Get Rayovac heavy-duty supercells from participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Avis got the car for you, and we can save you money too with our low rates.
Announcing Avis's Super Saver Rates. Rent a Chevy Chevette during the week, on weekends, or all week long, and save worry and money. Avis has great rates for every day of the week. Check for details. Avis's Super Savers. Another reason we say
Avis, you're leaving your worries behind.
Avis features GM cars and trucks.
It's only a 34-yard punt by Max Roniger, and Oakland has the ball at their 36-yard line. First down. Plunkett has Van Egan in the backfield. Kenny King on a wing. A give to Van Egan. Running right. Comes out to the 40, out to the 43-yard line. Big yards. He got 6 yards on the carry, and Charlie Johnson, the nose guard of the Eagles, stopped him.
They had a wingback formation that time, meaning that you have a player on the outside of the tight end.
When they defeated San Diego, and by the way, they defeated some formidable opponents, Houston, Cleveland, San Diego, in order to get here as the wild card team. They really killed San Diego by keeping the ball for 7 minutes at the tail end of the game.
Yeah, they're a sledgehammer team. They come right at you, nothing fancy.
Now from the 43, 2nd and 4, Van Egan over the right side, moves to the 45-yard line. And out near the 46, very close to a first down. Van Egan just kept pumping, and Johnson again jammed it up for the Eagles. The referee, Ben Dreith, calls time to spot the ball and see if the Raiders made a first down. 6:34 left in the half. Oakland leading 14-3. They were out in front, 14-0. Close enough to measure is what they say. And I'd only be guessing because it's very difficult to tell whether or not he made it. I kind of think if I had to guess, I'd guess he made it.
It sure looks like it from here.
Out beyond the Oakland 46. And it is indeed an Oakland first down. Out to the 46-yard line, a first down for Oakland. Maybe a while before the Eagles get that ball back again, huh?
Exactly right. Once they start stuffing it at you, plus the fact that Plunkett does the play-action passes so well, once he establishes a running game, they're very dangerous.
The ball is at the Raiders' 46-yard line. Chandler to the right, Branch to the left. Chester, the tight end, sets up on the right side.
They should run left, or it's going to be a play-action pass, possibly, or some kind of a pass, but they should run left from this formation.
And it's a pass. Plunkett is back to throw. It looks and throws long downfield. Heavy traffic, and incomplete. Down inside the 30-yard line, he tried to get it to Kenny King. And the Philadelphia defenders were all over the place. Incomplete. And Bernard Wilson led the defensive coverage.
Had he thrown the ball just a little bit sooner, Jack, he might have had a chance to get the completion. He waited just long enough where he got involved in traffic. And in the area of the free safety, Bernard Wilson, they're very lucky, really, that the way the ball was deflected, that it wasn't intercepted.
And the velocity of Plunkett's throw caught your attention. Second down and 10 from the 46. We have 6:05 left in the half. Oakland leading 14-3.
If they run the ball, they might run something right. Now they're going to throw again.
Put it up again. He sets up. He looks, throws to the left sideline, wide open. It's caught at the 36 for a first down by Cliff Branch. Edwards nailed him, but Branch held on. Fritz, a little guy, 5'11", 170. He knew he was going to get walloped, but it didn't bother him.
No, he hung in there tough, waited for the ball to come to him, went after the ball, went to the ball a little bit. The ball was thrown perfectly, but again, as we talked about earlier, they're so concerned about Branch going deep that you ought to be able to throw in front of Edwards, especially on the early downs.
And Branch curled back a little bit and caught the ball. Edwards whacked him, but Branch had it tucked away, and it's a first down at the Philadelphia 35.
But look at all the room you're getting from the defensive backs. Edwards on this side is playing about 10 yards off of Branch.
Here's the give to Kenny King, outside, inside, down to about the 31-yard line. They mark it at the 32 as King picked up 4 yards on the play. And the linebacker, Bunting, got him. Now Oakland looks like they have the steam back on their side.
Well, it's so important. It's such a game of field position. I think any time that you have field position and you can use your whole offense, Jack, is vitally important, and you look like a different football team. And that's exactly where they are now. They've got great opportunity to use the pass and the run very efficiently. Look at all the room on the outside over on this side with Branch.
Plunkett sets up to throw. He's straight back. He looks. He throws, and it is incomplete. And a great defensive play was made by Herman Edwards on the corner. He came up over the top of the intended receiver and knocked it down.
Yes, he really did. He made a beautiful play. I think you can throw a little quicker than that, though, in front of the defensive people than he tried to throw at that time, Jack. The ball was a little high. Had it been thrown at the numbers, he might have had a chance to make the catch.
Boy, Edwards was good on that. It's third down and 6. 4:33 left in the first half. Oakland leading 14-3. Kenny King goes out. Arthur Whittington is in, and he gives the offense a little spark with his speed. He's in the backfield with Van Egan. Chester on the left side, splits left a couple of yards. Plunkett's back to throw. 4-man rush. They're after Plunkett. He runs out of the pocket. He's still on the run down to the 30, and he came close to a first down as he's tackled near the 27. That was a third down carry, and he evidently is short by about a yard on that third down run.
He knew exactly where he had to go. He just didn't have enough speed to get there in time to make the first down.
Jerry Robinson caught up to him and knocked him down at the Philadelphia 27. And it's fourth down, and Oakland might gamble here, but they're sending on their field goal team. We have 3:55 remaining in the half. It's fourth down and 1 at the Philadelphia 27, and Chris Barr will try a rather long field goal, 45 yards. His longest of the year was 48 yards. Chandler, he gets it down, and Barr kicks it, and it is no good. It's off to the right. Appeared to be long enough to make it, but it was a bit off to the right. The ball will come to the line of scrimmage, and the Eagles, with 3:34 left in the half, will get the ball again. He had enough distance, didn't he, Hank?
Yes, he did. He just kicked it to the right a little bit.
3:34 remaining in the half, and the Eagles have the ball at their 27. 14-3, the Raiders on top. They jumped out in front, 14-0. I was kind of surprised, leading 14-3. They didn't gamble down in that territory on fourth down, Hank.
Jack, very frankly, I was too. With that field position like it was, normally if they kick off, they usually start the drive on right about that position of the field. I was surprised they didn't go for the first down too.
Montgomery and Harris in the backfield for Jaworski. A give to Montgomery, running right. He's in trouble. He is knocked down right at the line of scrimmage by Matt Millen. Boy, what a big one he is. And he manhandled Montgomery as he took him down. Millen is 6'2", 260, a rookie out of Penn State. Pretty good linebacker, isn't he?
Oh, he's a great linebacker, especially against the run.
So Montgomery lost a yard.
Montgomery runs much, much better, I think. He's an excellent runner, but he runs much more efficiently, I think, from the I formation, Jack, than he does from normal formations.
He's carried 9 times for 26 yards. And he lost a yard on that carry.
And, of course, Carmichael hasn't been a factor so far. He caught one quick screen, I think, for about 4 yards, but that's all he's done.
Here's Jaworski back to throw on second down. Woodson throws over the middle, and it is incomplete and almost intercepted by Oakland at the 45-yard line. It was right in the belly of Burgess Owens, and he dropped it.
Well, those kind of plays you have to make. That should have been an interception, but we just got through talking about Carmichael. They try to hit him inside, but he got some shots as he released off the line of scrimmage.
One big difference you see in this game, Hank, is the speed of the Oakland wide receivers compared to that of the Eagle wide receivers. They just don't have that speed, do they?
No, they really don't. They really don't. They have to beat you slowly. As I mentioned before the game, they like to take the bus. Oakland likes to take the jet.
Cedric Hardman comes in to help with the Oakland pass rush on third down and 11 from the 26 of Philadelphia. With 2:43 left in the half. Jaworski needs a third down completion. He sets up to throw. Has time. Throws, and it is caught by Carmichael at the 40 to midfield, down to the 45, 44-yard line of Oakland. Burgess Owens dragged him down. Carmichael made a good run after catching the ball. 2:28 left in the half and the clock running. And now we're down to 2:20 remaining in the half. And some more altercations down there on the field as Carmichael is down to the 44. Time has run off on the clock as they move the sideline markers. We're going to have the 2-minute warning before we have anything else, and when we resume, Philadelphia will have the ball first and 10 at the Oakland 44. 2 minutes remaining in the half. A timeout on the field with the score, Oakland 14 and the Eagles 3. By not calling timeout, they wasted about 40 seconds while they moved the sideline marker and broke up a little brawl downfield.
Exactly right, Jack. They didn't take advantage of the situation at all. And that time, Lester Hayes was covering Carmichael man for man, but he lined up a little bit on the outside, invited him to go inside. He did, and he didn't quite get there in time to make a play on the ball.
But Hayes didn't miss by much.
No, he didn't. But that's the thing about bump and run and man for man coverage. You don't have to miss by much.
It was a 30-yard pickup by the Eagles down to the Oakland 44.
He actually tried to go in front and try to make an interception or knock the ball down. It was far enough out in front where Carmichael made the play, and that gives them a first and 10 situation.
Oakland was ahead 14-0. It's 14-3 now. And the Eagles would like to get the touchdown before the half. They have 3 timeouts remaining and 2 minutes left in the half. What do you think of the game so far, Hank?
I think it's a good game. I like the way Philadelphia has hung in there. A lot of times, you get a shock in a big game like this one, and it's hard to recover, but I think they're starting to come back, and they're doing a much better job both offensively and defensively. And Oakland really hasn't done that much, except, they had good field position and got the touchdown early. Then they got the 80-yard touchdown play. But I think from an overall standpoint, Philadelphia's doing a good job.
It was an interception by Rod Martin, which set up the first Oakland touchdown. A pass to Branch made it first and goal at the 5, and a pass to Branch gave him the touchdown, then an 80-yard touchdown pass to Kenny King. Carmichael's to the right. Harris in the backfield, and the give is to Harris, running left, and he goes to the 41-yard line, is driven back. He got 3 yards. Matt Millen corralled him. Harris for 3 yards. Clock is stopped now with 1:54 remaining in the half, and a timeout has been charged. Timeout charge to Philadelphia. Pause in the action with the score. The Raiders 14, the Eagles 3, and let's take timeout.
United Van Lines presents Stiller and Mira.
United Van Lines, this is Ramona Wanderlust. Maybe you remember me from previous moves.
Ramona Wanderlust, we moved you from Tallahassee.
To Winnemucca.
And Winnemucca?
To Peoria.
Where can United move you this time?
Nowhere. I'm married now.
You're not moving?
I just want to relive the moving experiences I had with United Van Lines. Tips on packing, personal service. I miss the call of the open road.
I wish I could help you, Miss Wanderlust.
It's Mrs. Clovis Claude now.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
United Van Lines. We're in the yellow pages.
Here's how to talk your chauffeur into the idea of Buick's little limousine, the 1981 Century sedan. First, point out the Buick quality. Next, show him the elegantly appointed interior. Then point out the trim, intelligent lines and V6 engine. If he argues that limousines are supposed to be large and expensive and the Century is neither, tell him when he starts making the payments that he can pick out the car.
Buick. Keith Moody, the Oakland kick return man, re-injured an old fracture of the left hand, but he may return to the game. Harris picked up 2 yards on the carry down to the Oakland 42. Billy Campfield is in the backfield now with Wilbert Montgomery, and Rodney Parker is the added wide receiver. Smith and Carmichael to the right and Parker to the left. Second down play. Oakland has that 3-man front. And they show the safety blitz. The blitz is on. Jaworski throws, and it's caught at the 30-yard line for a first down. And a great reaching catch by the Philadelphia Eagles. The big guy, Harold Carmichael, reached back and caught it. Lester Hayes brought him down. And the Eagles are in their hurry-up offense. Carmichael took it down to the 27. And Jaworski with the clock running down to 1:25.
They're giving Carmichael a lot more room, and that's exactly what he likes.
He throws it away. Threw it out of bounds. Charlie Smith was in the area, covered by Lester Hayes. That's second down and 10.
That time Carmichael was really wide open right down the seam. He didn't see him, but he had a chance for a big play, and he might have taken it all the way in for the touchdown had Jaworski had a chance to get the ball to him.
Jaworski looking over the Eagle bench as he takes him back into the huddle. The clock is stopped with 1:20 left in the half. 30-second clock is running down to 25 seconds. Second and 10 at the Raider 27. Oakland's leading 14-3. Coming to the close of the half. 1:20 remaining. Jaworski looks over the defensive alignment. Smith and Carmichael to the left, Parker to the right.
Now here they come again.
Blitz is on. Jaworski dumps it off and just did get rid of it incomplete. Chasing it was Nelson, Bob Nelson, the linebacker. And nobody picked him up. In fact, there wasn't anybody back there to pick him up except Montgomery, and he had too many people to choose from.
Yeah, that's right. Nelson came inside that time, and nobody touched him, and he got to the quarterback, and Jaworski had no chance whatsoever. He's lucky he really got rid of the football and didn't have to take a loss on the play.
It is third down and 10. They sent both Nelson and Hendricks. And as Hank Stram explained earlier, that's not a helter-skelter defense. They know where they're going.
Exactly right. And one thing you have to remember, too, Jack, anytime that you blitz, it's feast or famine. You might get the quarterback one time and come right back the next time, and he might throw a touchdown pass or a big play. You got to be very careful. You live by the sword, you die with it.
They show the blitz again, Oakland does, on third down and 10, and back to throw is Jaworski. Here's a swing pass caught by Montgomery to the 25, down to the 20, down to the 15. It's a first down at the 11, but flags are down. Flags are down. I kind of thought that Oakland lined up offside.
Yeah, I think they did. Jack, and here again, they threw the ball on the outside that time against a blitzing situation, which is very good. The linebacker has to get there. If he doesn't, it's a big play. Exactly what we talked about just before the ball was snapped.
Offside Oakland, that'll be declined. The pass carries down to the 11-yard line of the Raiders. The clock is stopped with 1:07.
Decline the penalty at first down. Timeout, Philadelphia. Second timeout.
Timeout called by Philadelphia. They have one remaining. They also have a first down at the Oakland 11-yard line with 1:07 left in the half. Are you interested in obtaining the ultimate souvenir from the NFL's biggest event, the official Super Bowl 15 game program? It contains dozens of action photos, a week-by-week review of the 1980 season, complete scouting reports of the Eagles and Raiders, and it's now available through the mail. The same 144-page program being sold in the Superdome today during this game. You can order yours now by sending a check or money order for $3.50 for each program to Super Bowl 15, Post Office Box 15, Houston, Texas 77001. Super Bowl 15, Post Office Box 15, Houston, Texas 77001. Please allow 3 weeks for delivery. Order your copy today. This announcement furnished by the National Football League, 410 Park Avenue, New York. I could see, Hank, as Oakland was showing that blitz, that they did indeed line up offside, and as soon as the ball was snapped, the flag came down.
Yes, that time, and of course that time they had Mike Davis, the strong safety, coming on the play, and here again, if he gets there, it's great. If he doesn't, they threw the ball in the perfect area, and again, as we talked about earlier, it's feast or famine. If you get to him, it's great. If you don't, it could be a big play, and that's what happened on the last one.
Well, The Eagles are trailing 14-3. If they get the touchdown and cut the deficit to 4 points at intermission, we have only 1-7 left in the half. It could be a wild second half. Leroy Harris and Wilbert Montgomery will be in the backfield for Jaworski, who is now 9 out of 19, 131 yards, 1 intercepted. Tough to throw passes down in here, but the Harold Carmichael is murder. Yes, when you're down in this area.
And especially now they get bump and run on both outside receivers. Carmichael's in the slot.
First down at the 11. Jaworski takes the ball, fakes to Harris, throws into the end zone, and incomplete. He tried to loft it for Wilbur Montgomery, and the linebacker Hendricks was covering. Hendricks has the speed to stay up with a guy like Montgomery, who did have him whipped a little bit.
And the other thing about a guy that has that range, you have to throw over the top, and a lot of the time, by the time it gets to the back, why, it's beyond him or to the side, because they're so afraid that he might intercept the ball if he doesn't throw it high enough.
Second down and 10 from the 11 with 1:02 left in the half. The Eagles have 1 timeout remaining. Carmichael goes to the left side. He's being covered over there by Osteen.
They got a one-on-one on the outside on Carmichael. I would sure go to him. They got bump and run on both people, but I would sure take a shot at getting the ball to one of those outside receivers.
He throws inside the 10, and it's incomplete. Off the hands of Crefley, the tight end, who had gone in motion. And Hank and Osteen had his hands full over there with Carmichael. He was all alone.
Yeah, Osteen, of course, is 6'1", 195, and of course Carmichael, number 17, is 6'8", 225. It's a mismatch, and I'm very surprised it didn't go to him because he had exactly what you like, one-on-one with Carmichael on Osteen. Even if he covers him, it still puts a lot of pressure on that defensive back.
And you always have the chance of an interference call.
Exactly right. I'm very, very surprised it didn't go to him with that one-on-one bump and run situation.
Mike Davis was able to stay right with Crefley, the man in motion, who went down into the passing area. It's 3rd and 10 from the 11 now. 58 seconds left in the half.
Carmichael's in the slot on this side. Osteen is playing a little outside.
Jaworski throws into the end zone. Incomplete. He tried to get it to Parker, and Parker and Jaworski just weren't together on the pass pattern.
No, I threw a little bit too far in front, or else it would have been. But that's the kind of a play you have to throw. And again, I can't understand. They had their key guy up with the bases loaded, so to speak, with Carmichael one-on-one on Osteen. The previous play didn't take advantage of it. Then they come back to Parker, and they throw it over the top of his head.
Tony Franklin, who kicked a 30-yard field goal earlier, will have one now of 29 yards.
And Otis McKinney, number 23, was the defensive back on the play.
Now it's going to be 28 yards. The Eagles try to make the score 14-6. The snap is good. Shira gets it down, and the kick is blocked by Oakland, and it's picked up and then dropped by Oakland at the 20-yard line. Dropped again by Jones. He dribbles the ball, and it's recovered inside the 15 with 43 seconds remaining. And who has the ball? Oakland. Oakland blocked the field goal and got it back. Matt Millen came off the bottom of the pile.
Goes back to what we talked about so many times during the course of the season. All you want to do is make sure you're pulling the football to make sure you have possession. Instead of trying to pick it up, you wind up kicking it with your foot or your knee and have a hard time trying to to recover the football. Luckily, Oakland did. Luckily for Oakland.
Jones must have had that ball 4 different times. The ball was blocked by the Stork. Ted Hendricks, he got up and blocked the field goal try. And now Oakland has it at their 14.
You talk about following the bouncing ball. That was it.
Brent Musburger will be coming along here at halftime, and that's not too far away. Only 43 seconds remaining in the half, and Oakland could just sit on it here and run the clock out. They're going to get the second half kickoff. Here's Van Egan over the right side, out to the 19-yard line. We'll see how intent Oakland is on stopping that clock. They let it run down to 30 seconds. And Oakland's just going to run it out and take the 14-3 advantage into the dressing room. And in fact, they don't even have to run another play. The 30-second clock is at 15 seconds, and the game clock is at 10 seconds now, so they're not even going to snap it. They'll take the 11-point lead in after Ted Hendricks blocked that field goal try by Tony Franklin. And there is is the gun, sounding the end of the first half here in Super Bowl 15 with the score. The Oakland Raiders 14, the Philadelphia Eagles 3. Oakland leads at halftime 14-3. Plunkett has completed 5 out of 8, 2 touchdowns, none intercepted. Van Egan, 8 carries, 28 yards. King, 4 carries, 10 yards. Plunkett ran for 11 yards and 2 tries. They missed a field goal try of 45 yards. And Hank Sam, I agree with you that aside from the 2 big plays they made, the interception by Rod Martin and the 80-yard pass to Kenny King, the Raiders have done very little except play good, solid football.
Yeah, they have. And, of course, the great thing about the Oakland Raiders, you know, they, between the 20s, you know, they might not be overly efficient and look that impressive, but you get them in that scoring area, and, boy, they usually take advantage of the opportunities that they have. And today is a great illustration of it. It wasn't so much that they got good field position right after the first drive of the Philadelphia Eagles. They intercepted a pass by Martin on the 30-yard line, and it's one thing to make the interception and have good field position, but it's another thing to take advantage of and get points, and especially 7. They got to 7. Then later, from the 14-yard line, they went 80 with a big play to Kenny King, but outside of that, they really haven't done a whole lot.
And it was a pass to Branch at the 5, setting it up at first and goal, and a pass to Branch from 2 yards out for the score, a pass to Kenny King for 14 yards, a 30-yard field goal by Tony Franklin, and with 43 seconds left in the half, following 3 incompleted passes. Franklin had his field goal try of 28 yards blocked by Ted Hendricks, and the Raiders, who will be getting the second half kickoff, are very comfortable here in the locker room at halftime on top 14-3.
Halftime continues here at the Superdome with the Oakland Raiders leading the Philadelphia Eagles 14-3. It's a pleasure to welcome one of my bosses now into our control room here in the booth that Jack Buck and Hank Stram have been using. Dick Brusher, who is the Vice President and General Manager of the CBS Radio Network. And Dick, another outstanding season for CBS Radio. A lot of folks are turning down that sound on those TV sets. Got you right on the spot, didn't I?
Didn't you do that? This is my opportunity once a year we do this, and usually it's halfway through the 35th game, to do something that, it's very uncomfortable for Jack and for Hank to sit up front and look at one another and say, gee, you did a heck of a job, fellas. And I don't want to put you on the spot by having you do the same thing with poor Dick Stockton here, but we've got some 400 or so bosses of mine. They are our affiliates around the country, and I like to take this moment to express their appreciation to you, Brent, to Dick, for a terrific job this year, and of course to my friend Mr. Buck and Mr. Stram. Brent, we missed them last night. I think we needed Jack's tenor and Hank's soprano while we were wishing our executive producer a happy birthday in the middle of Bourbon Street.
Yeah, Frank Miller had about 15 birthday celebrations last night in New Orleans, folks. It is not all work. It is sometimes play here.
It certainly is. And we did miss their... they were in training, though. I think the fans will be happy to know that they were in training.
Dick, how do you look at the second half? You were observing that first half very closely.
If you have to go by what you sense on the field, it just seemed that the Oakland Raiders have that confidence a little more intense. I don't know why that is. That's my view of it, and they're taking it to the Eagles. Jaworski, for one reason or another, seems a little uncertain, and I don't know why. He's one heck of a quarterback. It'll be an interesting second half.
It sure will. John Madden, how does Tom Flores usually play with a 14-3 lead? Will he come out and sit on it in the third quarter, or he will go right up on top?
No, that's one thing that I was going to say earlier that the Raiders can't do. They can't be satisfied with a 14-point lead. They're going to have to come out and play the second half like it's 0-0, and I'm sure that's what Tom is telling them right now.
Herb, I've been asking you all about food, but I want to come back and talk a little football, too, with you and Dick, and we'll be right back here at the Superdome in New Orleans in 60 seconds.
Unnecessary roughness!
Happens on the field, but mister, you don't need it when you shave. You've got Rise Babyface Shave Cream. Tough on your beard, but tender on your skin. Because Babyface has our exclusive baby oil formula for a shave so close your skin feels smooth up close. So, mister, forget
unnecessary roughness!
Come on, score with Rise Babyface Shave Cream. Tough on your beard, but tender on your skin.
Halftime continues at Super Bowl 15 with the Oakland Raiders leading the Philadelphia Eagles 14-3. Herb Cain, one of the finest columnists in America, works for the San Francisco Chronicle, is with us here today. And Herb, one of the delightful stories in football, in fact, of all sports history, has to be a remarkable comeback by a young man I know you followed at Stanford, quarterback Jim Plunkett of the Raiders.
Well, Jim's somebody I've known for a long time, one of the few football players I really know, and I like him tremendously. And, of course, it's, as you say, the rags to riches story of all time. And it should be a movie. There will be a movie starring, I don't know who, Brent Musburger, maybe. but it's got to be it just makes us all so happy.
Dick, you know, the man who has put this Eagles team together, you're very close to, is Dick Vermeil. And he can get very emotional at halftime. I would expect to see a different performance, wouldn't you, by Philadelphia?
I wouldn't be surprised if he had tears in his eyes and said, let's win it for these guys who've been humiliated in Philadelphia by the fans and press. But, you know, we observed that it's better perhaps to lose the toss at the start of the game because a club is sky high defensively, and it worked when Rod Martin made the interception. So now Oakland will get the ball starting in the second half, and if Philadelphia is fired up, which we expected they would be, and they can perhaps force a turnover or two, you never know, and get in a score, they can get back in the game. But if Oakland goes all the way and scores, I think that's the end of the ball game. What does John think?
Well, I think it's too early to say that. But the one thing that I do know, in the 14 Super Bowls, out of 12 of them, the team that scored first is the team that won the game. And I think that was important, what you said on that first kickoff, you know, not having to take the ball, but let them have the ball, let them make the mistake because they were tight. That happened in the first half. I don't think it'll happen in the second half. I think the Eagles will come out. They've tried play pass, they've tried run, they've tried screen on first down. I wouldn't be surprised in the second half if they came out and just wrote regular drop back pass. I think if they're going to win this game, Ron Jaworski has to win it for them.
Well, the Eagles have certainly made too many mistakes. We would all agree with that. And, John, you and I were talking about Philadelphia late in the year and the fact that they did not put wide receiver Harold Carmichael in motion very often. Now, Oakland comes in here with a tighter defensive alignment in the secondary, and right away they put Carmichael in motion, and wouldn't you know it, on the touchdown pass to Rodney Parker, Harold Carmichael was in motion and took an illegal step forward.
And that's why, as a coach, you always hate to put something new in for a big game, because usually that does happen. I know what they were thinking. Harold Carmichael has been having trouble late in the season with tight coverage. He knew that the Raiders were going to give it to him. One way to get the tight coverage off is by going in motion, but it backfired on him.
It did. You know, Dick, one of the most popular athletes in the Bay Area has to be linebacker Ted Hendricks, and he came through again with that blocked field goal.
He did, and of course on a blitz earlier in the play, and Ted Hendricks is someone that has been hovering over that defensive line, and I think Jaworski has had to be looking to him, and I know that you want to get another buddy of yours in here right now.
Jimmy the Greek has just stepped on into our CBS radio studio. Jimmy, I don't know why you got that big smile on your face.
He scored 14 to beat the Raiders. What do you think?
What does Al Davis think about the performance of his Raiders so far in the first half?
I think they should have had another touchdown.
Wouldn't you know it? Owners are always like that, John, putting the heat on the coaches to score more.
Well, that's the way Al is, not to put the heat on the coaches, but Al knows that it's not over until the final gun goes off, and he won't relax until that happens.
John, a question for you. It looks like that Cliff Branch is getting open every time. He has been open the entire game. I'm sure the Eagles are discussing in the dressing room right now what they must do to stop him or slow him up.
Well, I know what they must do. They started early. They're worrying about him going deep, so they were playing very loose on him. Herm Edwards was playing way off him, and Cliff was able to catch the ball in front of him. Towards the end of the half, they started to tighten up on Cliff, and I'm sure that they will the second half. But then when they do that, then Cliff is going to go up for the big one.
Jimmy, John observed a little bit earlier that the Eagles may have been tight. When you and I watched them late in the season, they really weren't making mistakes like this when the playoffs began, although they did have a slump late during the regular season.
Well, it always happens to them. It happened last year also. If you remember, the latter part of the season, they started to tally off again. I don't know about that discipline situation that Vermeil has, and he works him that hard. I think it should have a Matusak situation on the case.
We should point out that Big John Matusak, I think it was on Wednesday night, made the initial bed check of the Oakland Raiders, 11 p.m. Then, folks, he strolled away from the dormitory, went on down Bourbon Street, and I got to ask everybody a question. If you're 6'8", and you weigh 285 pounds, how can you hide on Bourbon Street? He didn't, did he?
He can, and they're winning, and I guess it's okay, right?
He does that every Wednesday night, though. There's nothing different.
John wasn't trying to hide. He was just going down there to make sure that no one else sneaked out.
Yeah, I love his quotes. I was the enforcer. I didn't want the young guys down there on the street. John, what about Hendricks? How does he continue to make one enormously big play after another?
Well, because first of all, he's tough to block if you know where he is and where he's coming from. We used to move him from the left side to the right side, weak side and strong side. Now they've added one more thing this year. They put him in the middle. Now, first they have to find him before they can block him. Both of those things are very difficult.
I remember an observation a week and a half ago that John Madden made, and he said that the team that is on the upswing has a better shot at the Super Bowl than a club had a stumble, as Philadelphia had toward the end of the season. And I think off the first half, Oakland is still on the upswing, and Philadelphia is still struggling.
Gil Brandt made a great deduction about the game when they won, beat them, and Dallas beat them. Says we had 11 days to prepare for the bird, which is Hendricks, and that's why they won it. You know, one of the most surprising performances so far has been Ray Guy. He has not punted well here yet.
No, and he looks like he's pressing the ball. You know, Ray has to kick the ball like a golfer. His kicking motion has to be smooth like a swing, and it's not smooth. He's trying to power the ball, and that's not the way Ray Guy kicks.
All right, John, and now stepping on into our booth here is the commissioner of the National Football League, Pete Rozelle. And Pete, I know you talked out on the controversy all week long about you versus Al Davis, but right now you got to be thinking about presenting the trophy to the Raiders, and I know you've already got in your mind how you're going to do that.
Well, it's not difficult if Oakland wins it, because I will be presenting the trophy to Al Davis, should they win it, for the magnificent job he frankly has done in putting this team together. I'll be presenting it to Tom Flores, the great coaching job, and to a very, very dedicated football team. They came hard at the end of the year, and they've just done a great job.
And we should point out that there's a half to go. I know all those fans up in Philadelphia are saying, wait a minute, you're not presenting that trophy to anybody, Dick, because Ron Jaworski can still bring this team back.
14-3. They almost had 7. They almost had 3. They came away with nothing. But, in this kind of a game, an interception, you force a turnover, and they get on the board, as John said. 30 minutes to go. 14-3 is hardly insurmountable.
Well, your friend John Madden here can tell you that is the case. In the first half, I would say that the Raiders played virtually errorless ball, whereas the key mistakes were made by the Eagles on the motion penalty, calling back the touchdown, which seemed certainly proper. Carmichael did turn too fast on the early interception, on the clipping penalty. They had some key ones. Now, if they continue the second half, they can be in real trouble with Oakland. However, should Oakland start to make some errors, why we could have a very close game at the end.
How's the attendance here today? Is it as large as it was in New Orleans when Dallas played Denver?
As I recall, every ticket was sold today, Fred.
Some were sold for more than that $40 price, but let's not rake him back over the coals completely, because it has been a delightful week down here in New Orleans. And, John, what about the Eagles now? What must they do to get back in the game?
Well, I think their defense has been playing sound defense. I would tighten up a little on Cliff Branch. I think they have to do that. But I think the big story is first down. They have to be successful on first down, whether it's Wilbert Montgomery running or passing. The former hasn't really been successful. I think they may just go back and try the drop back pass, and maybe a little more to the tight end. I think the tight end of the Philadelphia Eagles may come into focus the second half more than the first half.
Commissioner, you have seen all 15 of these games, and sometimes it is difficult for a team playing in its first Super Bowl to overcome the jitters and the nervousness. And before you walked in, John Madden said he felt the Eagles were a little bit tight in that first quarter.
Well, whether they were or not, there were certainly some indications. You saw Jaworski overthrowing in the end zone as an example. I think that Oakland's playoff experience is probably helping them some. But on the other hand, neither club is sitting on the football as we had some years back. I think both are trying to take advantage of the new rules. They're putting the ball in the air, and it's not a sluggle-out ball game. They're not being overly conservative.
Why do you think teams played it so conservatively when the Super Bowl began, and why has it changed?
I think then it was the coaching philosophy that if you avoid mistakes, you have a good chance of winning. Then we changed the rules, and they realized they're going to have to score or they will be outscored.
Thank you very much. You sound a little bit hoarse. You have indeed been talking all week.
Thank you, Brent.
All right. John Madden, we're just about ready to start the second half. The Oakland Raiders are back on the field, and Jack Buck will be back as Super Bowl 15 continues.
Both teams are back on the field now. The Oakland Raiders lead by the score of 14-3 here at halftime of Super Bowl 15. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
Super Bowl 15 on WBBM Chicago Sports Radio 78.
Engstrom, you always hate to zero in on the quarterback, but they're the hub that makes the wheel go around. And when you see Jaworski 9 out of 22 and 1 intercepted, there's the difference in the game, isn't it?
Well, it really has been so far, Jack, and I think it's very important to, that what's happened here this afternoon is typical of what happens when you play the Oakland Raiders. You're so concerned about trying to locate Ted Hendricks and trying to read what they're going to do and the anticipation of what you have to do to take advantage of what they are doing, that it creates a moment of indecision, and you can't play quarterback and have any indecision whatsoever, and that's exactly what it looks like Jaworski is having trouble with this afternoon. There is indecision, and that's why he hasn't been more effective than he has been, only completing 9 of 22 passes in the first half.
One apparent touchdown pass was called back because of the penalty against the Eagles, and late in the first half, he had Rodney Parker all alone. The defensive man had been completely turned around, and Jaworski threw the ball into the wrong area and had more time to throw at that moment.
Well, I think also they have to take more advantage, especially in the scoring area. When they have bump and run against Carmichael, they must go to Carmichael. Regardless what the situation is, they've got to go for the big play. One thing that I want to mention, I just got news, Jack, that our good friend Joe Koharic, who was the head coach at the University of San Francisco, the Washington Redskins, the University of Notre Dame, the Philadelphia Eagles, died this afternoon, and that's very sad to hear, but he had a long illness. He was a great guy and never, I don't think, really received the credit that he deserved as a football coach.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. It's the first I've heard of it, Hank, of the death of Joe Koharic. Was always a very nice gentleman when I encountered him, and our sympathies to his family. Tony Franklin will be kicking off from our left to our right to start the second half. Oakland will get the ball, and as John Madden, our guest at halftime, said, they better approach this like it's nothing right now.
Well, I think that's always the case. As I mentioned earlier, you can't think because you're ahead at halftime that it's going to be easier in the second half. You have to block out what happened in the first half and say, hey, we're starting this thing all over again. It's a new football game. As far as we're concerned, it's 0-0, and we've got to do everything we possibly can to get more points on the scoreboard. Be aggressive, make something happen, and not sit back and wait for something to happen, because when you wait for something to happen, it usually does, and it's usually all bad.
Here's the kick going down to Ira Matthews, who took it on the Oakland 3. He's to the 10 up the middle of the 15-20 and did not get to the 25-yard line. Oakland will start from rather deep in their own territory, and Reggie Wilkes, the linebacker, made the Philadelphia tackle here at the outset of the second half. The ball is marked down on the Oakland 23-yard line. Threw frequently on first down in the first half, and he threw those little square-out passes to Cliff Branch when he was deep in his own territory. The Eagles don't have much of a book on Oakland at this time. Out come the Raiders with Van Egan and Kenny King in the backfield, and Raymond Chester, the tight end, on the left side. Branch and Chandler, the wide receivers, both to the right side. On first down, Plunkett to King, outside right, and hit by LeMaster and brought down, and a flag is down. Flag is down, and a finger is being pointed at Henry Lawrence, and a holding call is against Oakland. Frank LeMaster made the tackle for the loss on the play, but the Eagles will take that major penalty.
That's a bad-looking play, Jack. It's a bad way to start the second half. They were in a slot formation, meaning that both Branch and Chandler were on the right side. The tight end was on the left. They ran to the slot side. It's very difficult to run to that side. You usually like to run to the tight end side. For that reason, they made no gain whatsoever. Holding penalty on the play. Now they're back to the 12-yard line.
Offensive holding number 70.
Henry Lawrence was the culprit. So instead of a 3-yard loss on the play, it's a 10-yard loss, and it's 1st and 20 back at the Oakland 12-yard line. A lot of ifs and maybes when this game is over. The touchdown that was called back, the blocked field goal try, the pass in the end zone that went awry. Now the ball is marked at the 14-yard line. First down, Oakland from their own 14. And And they're going to allow the Raiders another 30 seconds to call the play because the officials had the ball marked incorrectly. First down and 20 for the Raiders. Branch and Chandler to the right.
Looks like if they run, they'll run left.
Here, Plunkett giving the ball to Van Egan, running left, trying to get outside. He cuts back. He's out to the 22-yard line. And they're about where they were had they taken the loss on the previous play. Bill Berkey got there and stopped it at the 22 of Oakland. Van Egan picked up about 9 yards on the carry. Oakland trying to get out of the soup. They're back at their 22. Branch left. He's the speedster. Chandler can also run very well. Long time with Buffalo is to the right side. Second down and 12. Here's Plunkett going to put it up. He swings out a screen. It's caught by King. He's to the 25. He's to the 30. He's got a first down at the 35-yard line of Oakland. Carl Hairston, the tackler, and frequently in a game like this, Hank, where the intensity is at such a high level, those screen passes and draw plays will make the difference.
Yeah, you have to guess right and anticipate correctly. You want, when you throw something to the outside, you want the defense to be coming up the field so that you can get the ball to the outside. That's exactly what happened that time. There was good penetration, a linebacker blitz. They got the ball to the outside to King. He's an outstanding runner and has great speed and quickness, and he picked up the first down on the play.
So Oakland has overcome a holding penalty. They're at their own 35, and Plunkett with a first down pass. Looks, throws long. Chandler has it out of bounds at the Philadelphia 33. Bob Chandler ran under a perfectly thrown ball by Plunkett over Roynell Young, the rookie cornerback.
Boy, it was a beautiful play-action pass. First and 10, which is a great time, especially if you've been able to make some yardage. The play-action pass, if you're running well, will really slow down the pass rush, which they did that time. Had plenty of time to throw the ball. Chandler ran a crossing pattern. The ball was right on the shelf. Went down the field, broke over to the other side of the field. He's a very sure-handed receiver, and it's a big first down for the Oakland Raiders.
So Oakland certainly is playing like it's 0-0. Actually, they lead 14-3. Van Egan tries to go outside right, cuts back. He's inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And Dennis Harrison wrestled him down, and Van Egan picked up 4. He's a sure-handed ball carrier. He doesn't break the big ones, but he can break tackles and get yardage. He carried down to the 29. Second down and 6. Oakland received the second half kickoff. They're 23. They were called for holding, and now they're all the way down to the Philadelphia 29. Plunkett brings them out. Raymond Chester, the tight end, sets up on the right side. He's dangerous down in this territory. Here's Plunkett going to throw.
Play action again.
For a good fake, he throws long into the end zone, and it is touchdown by Branch. He went up and caught the ball over the cornerback Young. Branch gets his second touchdown of the day as he caught the 29-yard pass from Plunkett.
Another play-action pass, and the ball was really underthrown, and that happens a lot of the times, Jack. When that ball is underthrown, the defensive back is playing the man for man. He doesn't see the ball coming down behind him, and that's exactly what happened on the play. Plunkett has a lot of time to throw the ball, sets up nicely.
They wrestle for the ball, and Branch won the battle with the rookie cornerback Young. The extra point try by Chris Barr will run it up to 21-3 if it goes through. 12:24 left in the third quarter, and Oakland is on a roll. There's the snap. There's the kick. It's good. It's 21-3. 12:24 left in the third quarter. Starting at their own 14-yard line, Oakland marched right down the field. A 29-yard scoring pass to Cliff Branch. And with the score, the Raiders 21, the Eagles 3. Let's take time out.
Let's say when you go out to shop for a car, you'd really like to be treated to a big selection of available engines. A 4, perhaps, a V6, a turbocharged V6, or maybe you'd rather have a diesel or a V8. But no matter which engine you choose, you also want a plush, elegant car to go with it. All of which quite naturally leads us to ask,
next time you pick up Quaker State motor oil,
Quaker State. Ah, here it is.
you'll see that now it does something new. Now it not only helps cars last, but it helps gas last, too.
Oil saves gas?
Quaker State does. 3 ways. Now, in addition to gas-saving Sterling motor oil, Quaker State Super Blend 10W30 and Deluxe 10W40 save gas, too. So now you can get famous Quaker State quality plus extra miles at no extra cost.
Quaker State saves gas. Thanks.
Quaker State, now your first choice to help gas last, too.
Jim Plunkett is having a day. He's 8 out of 11, 183 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he's capping off an almost miracle story in 1980-81.
He really is incredible, but it couldn't happen to a more super kid than Jim Plunkett.
We wait for the kickoff from Chris Farr, and Billy Canfield is back inside his 5. He is flanked by Giamona and Perry Harrington. The Eagles need something to breathe life into their squad now. There's the kick, high and short to the sideline, and Harrington let it go. And did he touch it? He did. He touched it on the 10-yard line, and it went out of bounds. He blew that one.
Boy, he really did. You talk about making a bad mistake. That was a bad mistake because it puts him on the 10-yard line. Had he let it go out of bounds, he'd had another chance to get much, much better field position. And now they start this drive on the 10-yard line and not much room to operate.
The ball was going out of bounds, but while inbounds, Harrington reached up and touched the ball. And it went out of bounds off his hands back at the 10. So instead of Barr kicking off back at the 30, the Eagles are way back at their 10-yard line, and they've made some mistakes here today. Up they come with Jaworski, Leroy Harris, Wilbert Montgomery. They're in the I formation. And Jaworski to Montgomery, left side, good for 3. That's all. Montgomery slanting left, following Pete Payroll, the guard. Stan Walters, the left tackle. Guy Morris, the center, stopped by Reggie Kinlaw, who's back in there now. He missed part of the first half, Kinlaw did, but he's playing now. Now, Oakland will let him run all they want, eh?
Yeah, take as much time as they like. And, of course, I don't think there's any way that Philadelphia is going to get back into this game unless they do a good job of throwing the football and doing a good job defensively to get some kind of a turnover, some better field position to get back into the football game.
From the 14-yard line on 2nd and 6. I formation once more. Jaworski back to throw. Sets up and drills it over the middle. It's caught at the 30 for a first down. And turning around and hauling it in was Harold Carmichael. He was knocked down on the Philadelphia 32, a first down.
The last time they played against Carmichael, they had Hayes playing him man for man, regardless of which side he went. Now they have Osteen. They have a lot of confidence in Osteen, but he has caught many more balls against Osteen than he did against other teams that use bump and run, and specifically against Hayes the last time they played.
Eagles are at their own 32-yard line. Charlie Smith goes in motion back to the right. And Jaworski gives it to Montgomery, running outside left. Makes his cut, and he is hit. Tackle at the 35. He got 3 yards on the play. 3 yards for Wilbert Montgomery. And Philadelphia rushed for only 33 yards in the first half. He was tripped up by Matt Millen.
And that's a very important key, of course, because they go into the game with the anticipation. They want to run, and as I mentioned earlier, if they don't run well, why, Jaworski does not play nearly as efficiently, and that's probably true of a lot of quarterbacks, not only Jaworski. I don't know why they'd ever put Carmichael on the right side, or on the right side by himself, ever. I'd rather have him on the left side always and play against Osteen than I would against Hayes.
Spagnola is in there. He's the tight end. Krepley on a wing. Jaworski drops it over the middle, incomplete, and there's a flag and interference. Interference against Matt Millen as he hauled down Spagnola at the Philadelphia 40-yard line. That'll be a first down. The ball will be at the Philadelphia 40-yard line. Interference call. Millen was whipped on the play, and he simply reached out and dragged Spagnola down to the deck.
Defense pass interference number 55. That's a first down.
First down at their own 40 now for the Eagles, who started at their 10. They're trailing 21-3. They trail 14-3 at the half. Millen seems to be following Montgomery wherever he goes.
And that's a pretty good idea.
Here is the fake draw. The pass by Jaworski on first down over the middle. And caught by Carmichael at the 42 of Oakland. Another first down. And I tell you, Jaworski looks a lot more loose now than he did earlier.
Yeah, he threw a play-action pass. And here again, see, I think that Carmichael will catch many more balls anchored on the left side against Osteen than he ever will when he's on the right side against Hayes. And that sometimes they bring him over in the slot, but he's a lot better off over there by himself without the slot formation, just working against Osteen. He's done a good job so far.
The ball is at the Raider 41 with the Eagles in possession, and the Eagles have run the ball on first down, as they do now, with Harris trying to get outside, and he is out of bounds at the 36-yard line of Oakland, and he picked up 5 yards on the run. Rod Martin got him. Montgomery trying to block for him. 2nd and 5. Said earlier, even though they're behind 21-3, they still have to be patient and grind it out, talking about the Eagles.
Yeah, you just can't go back out of the pocket and throw, disregard the run. You have to hang in there and have enough balance. You have to put enough pressure on them from a run standpoint so that you can throw the ball efficiently when you want to, and it's much, much better to throw the ball on first down and early downs than to wait for the obvious passing situations.
Now the Eagles are in a good spot. 2nd and 5 at the Raider 36. Here's Jaworski giving the ball to Montgomery. He's tackled at the 34. He got only 2 yards, and it'll be 3rd down and 3 yards to go. Tackled by Reggie Kinlaw, the nose guard.
The way they're playing on defense, I mentioned it a little while ago, but I'll mention it again. That time they had Carmichael on the right side against Hayes. I would never put him on the right side. I'd leave him on the left side and let him play against Osteen.
Well, Hayes is not that dangerous. He only intercepted 13 during the regular season and a few more during the playoffs.
5 in the playoffs.
Plus some that were called back.
Yeah. There he is. Carmichael's on the other side. I would sure get the ball over there to it.
3rd down and 4 for the Eagles. They're at the 35-yard line of Oakland now. 3rd and 4.
They got a double tight end. The tight end would be a guy, too, that you ought to consider.
Pass play. Jaworski throws it, and it's intercepted by Oakland. And running with the ball is Rod Martin. His 2nd of the day was the inbound. He caught the ball and stepped out of bounds at the 32-yard line of Oakland.
They went to the tight end that time, and Martin, really, the linebacker, had coverage that time on the tight end, Spagnola, man for man. The key was that he got a good chuck, but the other thing was the ball was not thrown out in front enough. It should have been thrown in front. It was a little bit behind, and for that reason, Martin was able to make the interception.
Oakland's at their own 32, 8:20 left in the 3rd quarter. A timeout on the field. The score, the Raiders 21 and the Eagles 3.
We're here at Pencil Tufo Chevy City interviewing one of the more interesting monsters who make those monster deals on Chevy cars and trucks. Today it's Zomar Zircon, the 8-foot-tall green monster from the planet Zircon. He works in the used car department. Zomar, what brought you to Chicagoland?
I could not get a good deal on a used car on the planet Zircon.
So you left your home planet and galaxy and traveled many light years, searching and searching, until your spaceship came to rest in the Chevy City used car lot, where you became first a customer and eventually a member of the monster sales team.
That is correct. Chevy City has the best selection and prices in the universe.
How do you like sports in general and the Chicago Bears football team?
The Bears are peachy keen, and I played nose guard on the Chevy City team.
Peachy keen? Well, it takes all kinds. Folks, that's Zomar Zircon, one of the monster dealers at Pencil Tufo Chevy City, North Avenue, just west of Route 53 in Glendale Heights.
Well, bet a lot of people, Angstrom, in the Superdome right now are thinking that did it when Rod Martin intercepted with a score 21-3, stopping that Eagle drive, 2nd interception against Jaworski.
Yeah, but there's still too much time left in this game with 8:20 left in the 3rd quarter to consider the fact that the game might be over. A lot of things can still happen, and of course the thing that must happen, the Eagles on defense have to do something to get better field position, to make some kind of a big play, and the specialty teams have to play like gangbusters.
They're going to have to pry fire that ball away from Oakland now. Branch and Chandler go to the right side. King is on a wing. You look for Van Egan to carry the ball from his own 32. The give to Van Egan. He's to the 35 and tackled, and down he goes at the 37. And he picked up 4 yards before Carl Hairston dropped him. The Eagles have some people on their defensive unit who are in the Pro Bowl. Logan, the safety man, and Johnson, Charlie Johnson, the nose guard. We have a player injured. An Eagle player, Carl Hairston, is shaken up on the play. That stops the clock with 8:05 left in the third quarter. As they tend to Carl Hairston. Thomas Brown is ordinarily his replacement.
And Hairston is an excellent football player. On a scale of 5 to 0, you'd have to say that he's about a 4-5 player. If they lose him, they're going to miss him dramatically the rest of this football game.
And Jim Plunkett has gone to the sideline to talk it over with Tom Flores. He used to play for you, Hank. Talking about Flores.
Yes, and the first game that we ever played as a football team in 1960, Tom Flores was the quarterback of the Oakland Raiders. And he did a super job for Oakland, and he joined our team in 1969, the year we went to the Super Bowl. He threw one pass, 1 for 1, threw a touchdown pass right before the half against Houston for a touchdown, and in the process got a broken nose, but he paid the price. It was a great play.
The NFL announced this weekend the formation of their new youth fan club called the NFL Super Pro Club. Boys and girls ages 8 to 14 can join their favorite team's chapter for only $6. Each Super Pro Club member will receive 3 annual mailings beginning next August. Besides Super Pro Club newsletters, members will get a decal sheet featuring their favorite team, an NFL fun and physical fitness book, a specially designed division standings board, a Super Pro flying saucer, and many other items. For an application to join the NFL's new youth fan club, just write NFL Super Pro Club, Post Office Box 9000, Trenton, New Jersey, 08650. Repeat that address, NFL Super Pro Club, to get your application. Post Office Box 9000, Trenton, New Jersey, 08650. This announcement furnished by the National Football League. They're in the intermission, and they're still tending to Carl Hairston. We had some of the floats that were on the field that will be displayed during the Mardi Gras. And a Mardi Gras performer was having a little fun down in front of the Eagle bench, and they're in no mood for any lightheartedness right now.
No, they're really not.
Hairston is walking off the field, limping as he does, but walking on his own. Claude Humphrey goes in to replace him. 8:05 left in the third quarter. The score was 14-3 at the half. It's 21-3 now with Oakland leading. Rod Martin's 2 interceptions has tied a Super Bowl record. He brought about the first turnover of the game early on, and Oakland went in for a score. And he just intercepted moments ago to stop a pretty good Eagle drive. They had started back at their own 10-yard line, but Martin intercepted at the Oakland 32. One more game to play, Hank Strand, the Pro Bowl in Honolulu 1 week from today. We'll be there and looking forward to it.
We'll get a chance to see our great friend Don Ho. Hope to get to see one of his shows while we're there.
And a little of that Hawaiian sunshine.
A lot of the sunshine.
The ball is at the 37-yard line of Oakland. 2nd down and 6 after a pickup of 4 by Mark Van Egan. They use the same alignment with Van Egan, the setback, and Kenny King on a wing. They'll run him off of that wingback formation.
Yeah, they like to run right to the wingback formation or throw a play-action pass in this situation.
Here's Plunkett back to throw, despite the lead. Sets up and runs with the ball, and now he's in trouble and slides down for a loss of a yard on the play. He is covered by Charlie Johnson. Plunkett saw nothing, ran. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
That's so very important to stretch a loss into some kind of a gain. That time he had no chance whatsoever, but he saw some running room up the middle, took advantage of it, got as much out of the play as he possibly could, but he did avoid a loss.
Charlie Johnson was just ready to undress him, and Plunkett said, I think I'll go to the turf. Plunkett's 8 out of 11, 187 yards, 3 touchdowns. Chandler goes to the right along with Branch. And now Derek Jensen is in the backfield with Kenny King. 3rd and 7. Back to throw Plunkett. He's rushed. He stands up and drills it, and it's caught. It's caught by Chester, the tight end. He's to midfield and out of bounds at the Philadelphia 48. Quite a catch by Raymond Chester.
Yeah, the beautiful pattern. He ran a crossing pattern. The two people, the outside people on the right side, were in a slot. He was anchored on the left side. The two receivers on the right side cleaned it out. He came across, was wide open. Plunkett stepped up into the pocket nicely, got the ball right on the money to the tight end, Chester, and he picked up the yardage for the first down. There's pressure inside that time. Berge was blitzing on the play, but in spite of that, he still got the ball off in good shape.
And you liked it because he had the ball in his right arm and was able to use that stiff arm.
You bet.
The ball's at the 48, and that's a first down for the Raiders. Plunkett's going to put it up again. He looks and throws to the right sideline. Come back and caught by Chandler. Another first down. Chandler curling back, caught the ball at the 31-yard line of Philadelphia in front of Young, who really doesn't know whether to play tight or loose now.
No, you have to be, and of course, the thing that's very impressive, the orderly process with which Chandler caught the ball. He went downfield, drove the defensive back, came back toward the ball, watched it right into his arms, the ball into his hands. The ball was thrown right at the numbers, and a big first down for the Oakland Raiders.
17 yards on that pass play, and the Raiders are on the move after the interception by Martin. Now on first down, Jensen carries the ball slanting left. His forward progress is stopped near the Philadelphia 26, and he got 4, maybe 5 yards. Jerry Robinson tackled him. Hairston of the Eagles has a cramp in his right calf. He's expected to return. Jensen carried for 5 yards. He's a big back at 6'1", 225 out of Texas Arlington. They're doing whatever they want to do now, Hank.
Yeah, and of course they have good field position, and when you're in this part of the field, as I mentioned earlier, you can do anything you want to do. You just have to execute, but you can open up your attack and really work on the defense.
2nd and 5 at the Eagle 26 for the Raiders, who are leading 21-3.
A lot of room on the outside again.
Here's Plunkett to Whittington trying to get outside and cannot. He is hauled down by Claude Humphrey. Humphrey latched onto his shirt and pulled him to the deck, and he lost yards on the play.
One thing about going outside, the only way you can succeed in going outside is you must keep the defensive end on the line of scrimmage and also the linebacker. If they get penetration, you're out of business. You're not going to make yardage. They did not keep Humphrey on the line of scrimmage. He got the penetration, and they lose yardage on the play.
And a loss of 2 by Whittington makes it another third down play. 3rd down and 7 for the Raiders at the Eagle 28. Chandler and Branch both come to the left. Chester, the tight end, lines up on the right side. Dalby, the center, over the ball. Upshaw, Marvin, Lawrence, and Shell, the lineman.
They're bump and run on this outside here with the safety man trying to help.
It's going to put it up. The blitz is on, and Chester dropped the ball. He had to throw a little too quickly as far as Chester is concerned, because an all-out blitz by the Eagles was on, and they don't blitz very often.
No, they don't, but, they have to do something to get that ball away from Oakland and make some kind of a bad play so they can make a big play. And now they're in a field goal kicking situation.
Ball at the 32. It'll be a 49-yard try by Chris Farr, who kicked one this year of 48 yards. Ball will be held by Bob Chandler at the 36. Chris Farr trying it. Here's the kick, and it is long enough, and it is true. 46 yards by Chris Farr, adds to the Oakland lead, 24-3. With 4:35 remaining in the third quarter. Time out on the field with the score. The Raiders 24, the Philadelphia Eagles 3.
Shine on, Rusty Jones, shine on.
Hi, I'm Rusty Jones.
Rusty, could you make my new car shine like that one? It's like looking at a mirror.
Sure. All it takes is my exterior gloss treatment. Then I'll stay with you day and night, winter and summer, without even a coffee break, to keep your new car shining on for as long as you own it.
Good, because I plan to keep it for a long, long time.
That's not all. At trade-in time, your car will be worth more, because it'll still be bright and shiny. That's what makes me the one new car option that actually appreciates and values.
Rusty, I'm sold. But where do I find you?
Right at your new car dealer. Just ask for me, Rusty Jones Car Saver System.
Hey, Rusty.
Yeah.
Shine on.
Shine on, Rusty Jones, shine on.
Look for new car dealers that offer Rusty Jones Car Saver system. It's a sure sign that they care.
Score 24-3, Oakland, Hank. I wouldn't say that the Eagles are outclassed or outcoached, but they certainly are being outplayed by the Raiders.
Yes, they are, and you have to give them a lot of credit for the kind of a season they had and the fact that they're here, but they're being outplayed here this afternoon.
Kick to Camfield, who's out across the 20, out across the 25, 30, out near the 40-yard line goes Billy Camfield with a very good kick return, and Chris Farr, the kicker, made the tackle, and you had to enjoy the flag. There's a flag down. You had to enjoy the way the Eagles went after their blocks. There were a lot of them on the deck when the play was over, Hank.
Yeah, you didn't see many people standing around, and that's very important.
Clipping against the Eagles. Instead of being at their 40-yard line, they are way back at their 24. Well, even further than that, because the clip took place at the 24, and they are back at their 12-yard line. Thank you.
They've made far too many mistakes.
Personal foul on the run back, flipping number 52.
Clip was called against the Eagles linebacker Ray Phillips.
They've made far too many mistakes in a big game, and that's why they're in the position they are in right now, with the score being 24-3, Oakland.
Now the Oakland Raiders can afford to tee off. They have the Eagles backed up to the Philadelphia 12. Out comes Jaworski and company. Jaworski's 11 out of 25, 2 interceptions. First down, he has Harris in the backfield. He's going to pass. He fakes short and he throws long, and it is off the fingertips of Wilbert Montgomery. Montgomery had beaten his man, the defensive man, gotten behind him. The pass was off his fingertips with Mike Davis covering.
Yes, that time, and they had, of course, Montgomery flanked out to the right side and a slot to the left. And, of course, Montgomery has such great quickness and speed. He had the defensive back licked, Mike Davis. But the ball was thrown a little bit too long and incomplete.
Second down and 10. 4:19 left in the third quarter. The Raiders on top 24-3. They jumped out in front 14-0. And the Eagles got their 3 points, and that was the score at halftime. And here in this quarter, Oakland has added 10 points, unanswered by the Eagles.
They're keeping Carmichael on the left side more. They ought to throw the ball to him right now. They're in a bump and run situation. They got to make a big play some way. They ought to get the ball out there to Carmichael right now. He backs off rear.
Here's Jaworski back to throw. He is rushed. He avoids the tackle at the goal line. Throws it along to Charlie Smith, and he caught it in midfield. He's out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Oakland.
Boy, what a great play. What a great play by Jaworski. He got away from the blitz. Moved to the right side, saw Charlie Smith downfield, got the ball right over the top in great shape. What happened is the defensive back fell asleep, thought he was going to get trapped in the end zone or tackled, and the receiver, Charlie Smith, got behind.
That's the first pass that Smith has caught today. He's back after the fractured jaw. Or excuse me, after the fractured jaw. Mike Davis was blitzing on the play, and he didn't get Plunkett, and it cost him. Now the Eagles are at the Oakland 45. They have Terry Harrington in their backfield.
There again, you see Carmichael on the left side with Osteen.
On the snap of the ball, a toss to Harrington, trying to get outside left. The Raiders string it out, and Harrington moves to the 41 and got 4 yards on the carry with Dave Browning wrestling him down.
Terry Harrington, I think, is a good addition with this kind of a game. He's a big play back. He has good speed. I think he'd get much more out of the fullback with him playing the fullback position, Terry Harrington, than Leroy Harris, because Harris is a good blocker, but not much of a runner or a big play guy.
And Harris goes back in there now. It's second down and 6. Clock running. 3:40 left in the third quarter. The Raiders leading 24-3.
Now they have Carmichael on the right side. They have Osteen bump and run.
Here's the toss to Montgomery outside left, makes his cuts, runs through a couple of tackles, and carries down to the 37. Going to be third down and about 2 for the Eagles with Matt Millen, the tackler. Montgomery got 4 yards. 3:10 left in the third quarter. The Raiders in great shape. They've added some people to their football squad, too, this year, Hank. Talking about the Raiders.
Yeah, they have. But the dramatic difference really in their football team, the acquisition of Kenny King has been very instrumental in their success, plus the fact they've been able to reduce the try average defensively from 4.5 to 3.4, and that's amazing. And that's really been the difference.
3rd and 2, the give to Montgomery. He blasts in there and gets the first down just inside the 35 of Oakland. The winners of the Super Bowl game, by the way, receive $18,000 for this game. The losers, $9,000. Added to what the Raiders have already won with their 3 playoff games, they'll come away with about $34,000 per man.
Had a lot of fun with that kind of cash.
Take the summer off. Montgomery carried to the Oakland 34-yard line, a first down. We're down to 2:10 left in the third quarter. Eagles desperately need some points. They're trailing by 21.
We'll throw the ball here probably. Again, he got bump and run on the outside and bump and run on Carmichael. No, he's going to run the ball.
Here's the give to Harris. He's good for 4. He's down to the 31-yard line. Well, the Eagle fans don't like it. They want to get all 21 points back at the same time. They don't have any 21-point plays, do they?
No, they sure don't. You just got to be patient and move the ball down the field, and then when you get the right defense, then of course you've got to strike and try to make the big play. Still don't think they've taken advantage of Carmichael as much as they should have when he's in bump and run. I think anytime I would want him to be throwing the ball anytime he's in bump and run, because I think from a percentage standpoint you're going to win.
2nd down and 6 at the Oakland 31-yard line for the Eagles. Back to throw. The blitz is on. Jaworski has protection and throws behind Carmichael at the 15-yard line. And then he was whacked by Dave Pear, and he knocked Jaworski to the deck. It'll be 3rd down, 3rd and 6. He was wide open, wasn't he, Henry?
Oh, he really was. Made an outside move and then went inside and was really wide open on the play. Pear came in and got good penetration, but he still had a chance. He threw the ball before. He anticipated the hit, and for that reason threw the ball poorly. Had he held on to the ball just a fraction longer, he would have been able to hit Carmichael.
It's 3rd down and 6 for the Eagles. They have Louis Giamona and Billy Campfield in their backfield. Campfield sets up on a wing.
You got a bump and run on the outside guy to the left.
Not much blocking for Jaworski. Let's see if the Raiders blitz. They're coming. Hendrick is after him. The pass over the middle, caught by Carmichael. He dropped it. He dropped it at the 20-yard line. It slithered through his hands down around his knees. It's 4th down, and they might have to gamble here, Hank. They're trailing by 21.
Yeah, I think they would. The field position wouldn't be that great for Oakland, but I think you got to do everything you possibly can to get back into this ball game and get some kind of points on the scoreboard. I don't think they can afford to do anything but go for the first down.
That ball should have been caught. It was right at the belt buckle of Harold Carmichael. He dropped it. It's 4th down and 6 for the Eagles at the Oakland 31 with 1:10 remaining in the third quarter, and the Eagles are going to try to get the first down. Carmichael to the right along with Smith.
Carmichael, they ought to be able to hit him on an outside move, back it down into the right corner with the outside man going inside and he going to the right side away from the...
Here's the pass, and it is caught by Parker inside the 15 for a first down at the 12-yard line. And he is covered. Rodney Parker caught it, and he is taken down by Otis McKinney. The Eagles gambled on 4th down.
Well, they had to do that, and they succeeded in making the play. They were in bump and run that time. Otis McKinney was playing the bump and run. Didn't get much of a shot at him as a release from the line of scrimmage. He was open, and Jaworski got the ball to him in good shape.
Now we have 35 seconds left in the third quarter, and the clock is running. Charlie Smith comes out. Spagnola checks in as one of the Eagle receivers. Up in the eye at the Oakland 12.
They might try to go outside.
Here's Jaworski tossing the ball to Giamona. He makes his cut at the 10. He's down to the 6-yard line. He got 6. And in fact, he got more than that to the 5-yard line. And it's going to be 2nd down and 3. And that'll be the last play of the third quarter. Bob Nelson, Dwayne Osteen tackled him. Giamona to the 5. It is 2nd down and 3. The Oakland 5 for the Eagles. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Raiders 24 and the Eagles
3. This buzz for you. There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. So here's to you. You know it isn't only what you say, it's what you do. much for you. This much for you. For all you do. The King of Fingers is coming through. For all you do.
This Bud's for you. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
This is Larry Zonka. In 13 years of pro football, I've seen some pretty tough guys up close. But I've never seen anything tougher on fuel bills than Whirlpool's Tight Fist gas furnace. It's an induced draft gas furnace, engineered by Whirlpool to meet the high cost of energy head on. So if you want to get tough with your fuel bills, get a Tight Fist gas furnace from Whirlpool. Take it from a guy who knows. This is one tough furnace. So check your yellow pages for the Whirlpool gas furnace dealer nearest you.
In Super Bowl 15, only 15 minutes of football remain. And the Eagles are on the move. They're at the 5-yard line of Oakland, second down and 3. They trail 24-3. You still think they have a chance, Hank?
Well, I think you always have a chance. With 15 minutes to play, you gotta consider the fact that, if you get a big play, 3 big plays at 21 points, and that would get them right back into the ball game. That's the way you have to think if you are the Philadelphia Eagles. But they've got to score. They've got to make something happen here, and then do something with their specialty teams and also with their defense. They got bump and run. Look at it again on Carmichael.
Second down and 3 at the 5-yard line. Motion by Charles Smith. And here's Jaworski giving the ball to Montgomery. Broke the tackle. He's trying to get in. He's tackled at the 5. He lost. He got no gain on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 3. Mike Davis got to him, the safety man. Montgomery, no gain.
I hate to belabor the point, Jack, but I think any time that you've got a guy that's 6'8" against somebody that's 6'1", one-on-one, bump and run, you've got to throw the ball out there as often as he's in that position. To take advantage of the shot, you got to throw enough stuff up against the wall and hope that some of it will stick. But they haven't taken advantage of those situations at all, I don't think, in the game so far.
Spagnola goes in. Smith comes out for Philadelphia. They're at the Oakland 5. Boy, they'd hate to settle for anything less than a touchdown here.
And then, they put Carmichael on the right side against Hayes, and they ought to have him on the left side against the other guy.
Here's the toss to Montgomery, trying to get in again. He did not. He's to the 3-yard line. Didn't even get a first down. Burgess Owens tackled him, and it's 4th down for Philadelphia. Hank Stram is shaking his head as Montgomery gained only 2 yards.
Down to this goal line area, with Hayes being the great defensive back that he is, he ought to be on the left side instead of on the right side. He ought to be working against Osteen instead of Hayes.
We had a flag
over the tack.
We had a flag down, Hank, and it was offside against the Oakland club. And it'll be very close to a first down, and it'll be another 3rd down try for Philadelphia. The ball's marked down to the 2.
Defense number 37 was lined up in the neutral zone. 37.
Lester Hayes was lined up in the neutral zone.
You don't think he's trying to get a piece of Carmichael thrown off the line of scrimmage, do you?
They put in Joe Campbell to help with the goal line defense. You like him, don't you?
Oh, yeah. We drafted him number 1, and Al Davis was sharp enough and astute enough to give a number 6 for him to the New Orleans Saints, and they've got him on their squad, and they think he's going to be a good player.
3rd down and a half a yard for the Eagles.
Something right, possibly, or straight ahead.
The 2-yard line. Montgomery sets up with Harris in the backfield.
Now they change the formation.
And here's movement by the center, Morris. Guy Morris moved, and that's going to be a procedure call. The Oakland man came very close to making contact, did not. Morris moved, and that'll cost him 5. Move it back to the 7.
That's what happens if you go in a long count. You want to make sure that you do it with the express purpose, trying to get the other team offside, but you got to make sure that you don't do it to yourself, and that's exactly what happened on the play.
Now there's a discussion down there on the field, but simply they're going to mark 5 yards off and take the ball back out to the Oakland 7. Meanwhile, about a minute of this 4th quarter has been played.
Offense, illegal procedure on the center.
Guy Morris moved. Ball is at the Oakland 7, and it's 3rd down and 5. 3rd and 5.
Let's see if they put Carmichael on the left side this time.
Eagles
on the left side, but he's in a slot instead of being on the outside.
Jaworski back to throw. Has time, drills it into the end zone. Touchdown! A touchdown, and it's caught by Scott Prepley, the tight end. That was a 7-yard pass play, and I'll say this for Jaworski. He gave it everything he had. He threw that ball about 90 miles an hour.
Well, that ball, you've heard the expression before, but you talk about a ball being able to go through a car wash without getting wet. That was that kind of a throw.
7 yards for the touchdown, the first touchdown of the day, making the score 24-9 with 13:59 remaining in the game, and the Eagles certainly are alive. Here's the extra point try, so important by Tony Franklin. Shara will hold the ball. Now one of the officials, Dean Look, calls play to be stopped. Timeout is called by Oakland before this extra point try. That's unusual, but there is a timeout. And with the score, the Raiders 24 and the Eagles 9, let us take timeout.
Burning sore throat? Feel how fast Chloraseptic lozenges start to soothe.
Feels better.
Scratchy sore throat? Feel how fast Chloraseptic lozenges start to soothe.
Terrific.
Chloraseptic lozenges give you a proven, effective pain reliever that works in minutes to provide fast, temporary relief of minor sore throat pain due to colds or flu. Sore throat? Feel how fast Chloraseptic lozenges start to soothe.
Wonderful.
Get Chloraseptic lozenges in menthol or cherry flavor. Use only as directed.
For a lot of reasons, a lot of people like our Buick Skylark. A lot. Some like its front-wheel drive traction. Others like its roomy accommodations for 5. Skylark also gets a lot of votes for its smooth and quiet 4-cylinder engine. And a lot of people are taken with its luxury and looks. We couldn't get all the reasons people like Skylark into this commercial, but we sure got them into the car. Buick Skylark. At your Buick dealers now.
Keith Prepley has caught the touchdown pass. Oakland then called timeout. Here's the extra point try by Tony Franklin, trying to make it 24-10. We wait for the snap. It's good. Shara gets it down. The kick is up and good. 24-10 the score. So the Eagles have an opportunity, and we still have 13:59 left in the game. A timeout on the field with the score now. Oakland 24 and the Eagles 10.
Hi, Pat Summerall to say that if you want relief from tired muscles and dry winter air, follow this prescription from True Value Hardware Stores. To soothe tired, aching muscles, apply moist or dry heat with a Northern heating pad available for $9.88 from True Value Hardware Stores. This pad provides penetrating heat at 3 temperature levels. The cellulose sponge is included for wet applications, plus a washable cotton cover for dry heat. If you're suffering from the effects of dry winter air, True Value Hardware Stores recommend a Northern Cool Spray Humidifier. The 1-gallon model is just $9.98 and runs all night on one filling. And since moist air holds heat better, you'll feel warmer, too. With a Northern heating pad and Cool Spray Humidifier, you know relief is on the way if you make your way to your nearest participating True Value Hardware store or home center.
True Value Hardware is more than just a name. It's our way of doing business. That means True Value.
Keith Moody out. Ira Matthews is back waiting for the kick from Tony Franklin. Too early to try an onside kick, isn't it, Hank? Unless Tony Franklin has ideas of his own, as he did a year ago.
If he does, he better keep running and go right up the tunnel.
Franklin will kick it off. And the Eagles are doing a lot of chattering amongst themselves, trying to create perhaps a little distraction on the part of the Oakland Raiders.
It would be a very bad mistake for the Philadelphia Eagles to try an onside kick at this stage of the game. They've got too much time left. They've got to go down and kick the ball as deep as they possibly can, do a good job of covering and play good defense and try to get something, make something happen.
Here's a kick by Franklin. He kicks it high and rather deep, and Matthews takes it back at the 3-yard line. He's to the 5 running right. He is to the 10 and 11, and that's all. Because of the threat of the onside kick, Matthews had very little protection as he ran that one back.
You're right. They're all up there tight, worrying about the possibility of an onside kick. He had nobody blocking back there for him, and this is a good opportunity for Philadelphia. But they have to take advantage of the opportunity and play good defensively, keep them in the hole, keep them in the soup, make them kick and get good field position and get another score and be right back in the football game.
Giamona downfield made the tackle at the 11. Meanwhile, it's officially announced as a sellout, 75,500 here in the Superdome. Hank Stram and Jack Buck with you for CBS Radio. And you can feel the fever pitch mounting now. First down for Plunkett with Van Egan and King in the backfield. He gives to Van Egan running left. He comes out to the 15. He's out to the 20-yard line. He picked up 9 yards on the play. Van Egan tackled by Bernard Wilson. That's what Hank Stram was talking about. You have him back there at the 11-yard line. You got to keep him back there. But Oakland just blew out with Art Shell and Gene Upshaw and Dave Dalby.
Hairston is back at the defensive right end position. They ran right at him that time and blew him off the line of scrimmage and picked up a big gain on the play.
2nd and 2. Van Egan tries for and gets the first down apparently before he is driven back. He came out to the 23-yard line. In fact, he got forward progress to the 24 for an Oakland first down. Bill Berge tackled him.
And notice when push comes to shove, Oakland is going to run to that left side. They have great confidence in the fact that Art Shell and Upshaw, the two big veterans, they can move people off the ball when they have to, and they're doing it right now.
Shell is a 280-pounder. Upshaw, very quick, weighs 255. Dalby, 250. Mickey Marvin, 270, and 270 for Henry Lawrence. They're big up front. A first down for Oakland at their 24.
This is a sweep, pass draw.
Here's the give to Kenny King. He is hit at the line of scrimmage and driven back. He gained a yard. That's all. That's the kind of defensive play Philadelphia needs.
Yeah, they have to. They've got to make them cough up the football. But that formation, that time they normally like to pass, draw a screen. They try to run a wham play inside with the fullback leading and making a block on the man on the center. They didn't do a good job of it, and they lose yardage on the play.
We're down to 12:05 left in this game. Eagles are trailing by 14, 24-10. We're down to 12 minutes. And the Super Bowl 15. Chandler's to the right. Branch to the left. You think Oakland will throw the ball at 2nd and 9. Here's Plunkett. He's going to put it up. Here's Rush. He stands there and throws, and it is caught out beyond the 30-yard line. And it's very close to a first down as Raymond Chester came back and caught it at the 33.
Flag down on the play, however.
Flag is down.
Looks like it might be holding.
Boy, he had an awful lot of time.
The great thing about it was...
Defense number 87, roughing the passer. Passer against Claude Humphrey. The pass was caught at the 33.
I saw Humphrey pick up the yellow flag and throw it down, and I didn't know what had happened. But you got... Plunkett, remarkable poise here, stayed in the pocket, had some pressure, but in spite of the pressure and in spite of Humphrey coming over the top, he hung in there tough, kept his feet in the fire, and got rid of the football.
And more yardage tacked on.
Boy, that's keeping your feet in the fire, I'll tell you, when you stay in that pocket like you did that time.
They put the ball down at the Oakland 48. First down. Oakland was way back at their 11-yard line.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The defense has to make a big play. They didn't do that, and now they're in trouble. Look at all the room over there on Branch.
On first down, Plunkett going to throw. Sets up throws, airs it out downfield for Branch, and it is incomplete. And almost intercepted by Philadelphia. Edwards got over there only because of his sheer speed, and Darner picked it off.
Yeah, and the ball was up in the air a little bit too long that time, Jack. Had he thrown the ball quicker and farther out in front, it'd have been a touchdown. But you have to give Herman Edwards a lot of credit. He recovered. He has great recovery speed, meaning that even though he's licked, he has enough speed to recover if the ball isn't thrown perfectly. Branch had to wait for the ball a little bit. And
Plunkett guided that ball, Hank.
Yeah, he kind of steered it. Yeah, he's kind of steered it.
So it's 2nd and 10 at the 48. The clock is stopped with 11:33 remaining in the game. Oakland leading 24-10 over the Eagles.
I'd come right back and throw in front of Edwards on this play. Look how soft he is on the side.
The pass has this time. He took a deep drop, throws it over the middle, and it is caught at the 35, and down to the 30 goes Chandler for another first down. Boy, that Plunkett is something today. He's 11 out of 16 as he hit Bob Chandler to the Philadelphia 29.
And Chandler is a very precise, deliberate kind of a pattern runner. He's really like Freddie Biletnikoff, very much the same kind of a pass receiver. Very sure-handed and runs excellent patterns.
11 minutes left in the game. Less than that now with the clock running. Ronell Young made the tackle, but the Raiders are down 2. The Eagle 29. They started back at their 11-yard line. This is the one that might put it away for them. Van Egan and Whittington are in the backfield. And Plunkett's going to throw again. He throws, and it is caught by Chandler at the 25. He gained 4, and he was knocked down immediately by Young.
Well, you like to see a team when they're ahead to stay on the attack and make something happen. That's exactly what Oakland has done in the second half, and they're doing it again right now, even, throwing the football and moving the chains and making big plays. That's the kind of a team they are, and they're doing an excellent job.
10-15 left. Oakland has the ball. They have a 14-point lead. 2nd and 6 at the Philadelphia 25.
Look at all the room on that left side. They're going to run left if they run.
Plunkett's having himself some kind of day. And second down, he gives to Van Egan, and he horses it down to the 20 and down near the 19 and might have a first down. Dennis Harrison tackled it. Van Egan carried to the Philadelphia 19-yard line. They're going to measure to see if he got a first down. It's my guess that he did.
Yeah, I think he did too. And notice how carefully Plunkett put the ball in the pocket of Van Egan. He handed him the football and watched it into the pocket, followed him a little bit as the ball was put into the pocket. So just in case he would have fumbled, he'd have been in a good position to recover that fumble himself or help him to play.
Tom Flores and the Oakland Raiders need a handful of nails now. That's all they need, and they're really putting the cover on the Eagles at the moment. It's 19-yard line, first down. Started back at their 11. This is what they did to San Diego to close out that game. Kept the ball for 7 minutes. It's first down. And another pass play by Plunkett. Throws out here, and Van Egan dropped it incomplete. They don't throw to him very often. They did that time. The linebacker was rushing up Berge, but it was incomplete, second down.
And he threw that a little too low that time. It was a tough catch for the back to make. The back, and when you catch a ball on the outside like that, the ball really has to be thrown out in front, number high, so he doesn't break stride, that he can go on his course and move the ball down the field. No chance whatsoever. You have to stop and make a readjustment and then try to make the catch and make yardage upfield.
9:23 remaining in this contest. 2nd and 10 Oakland. They certainly are not sitting on this football.
Look at Branch.
Edwards has him one-on-one.
Edwards, but wasn't even over there.
Give to Whittington. Whittington's pop up the middle is worth about 2. There was no one covering there.
Nobody covering, and Plunkett didn't see him. Had he just thrown the ball out there, it would have been a touchdown.
John Bunty made the tackle on Whittington. Whittington's forward progress is down to the Eagles 17. 2nd and 3rd down and 8. The old clock is ticking away, folks, and 8:55 is all that remains. Even a field goal would direly hurt the chances of the Eagles. They're trailing now by 14 points. 3rd down and 8. Chester, the tight end on the right side. Plunkett back to throw. Looks, throws down the middle, end zone. Incomplete. Chandler almost had it. Then the defensive man got there, Herman Edwards, and tipped it away. 4th down.
A little bit more out in front, Jack, and it might have been a score. Is just a little bit behind on the play.
Chris Farr has kicked one field goal here today. Could make it a nasty situation for the Eagles. The line of scrimmage is the 17, so it'll be a 34-yard try. 8:32 remaining in the contest. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS radio network.
Super Bowl 15 on WBBM Chicago Sports Radio 78.
35-yard field goal try. Chandler gets it down. Barr gets it up. It's good. More points for Oakland. More points for Oakland. 27-10 with remaining in the game. Chris Farr with his second of the day. And now with the score, the Oakland Raiders 27, the Philadelphia Eagles 10. Let's take time out.
We make your daughters dance, wake you to the sun. We bake your bread and light your way when day is done. We make you pretty, we make you smile. We bring good things to living. We bring good things to life.
At GE, we're in the business of bringing good things to life by making products that make life a little easier, a little better. And you know something? We think that's a pretty nice business to be in.
We bring you closer to the ones you love. GE. We bring good things to living. We bring good things to life. We bring good things to living.
Oakland used 5.5 minutes, and they were able to move the ball from their 11-yard line down to the point where Chris Farr was able to kick a 34-yard field goal. They have now increased their advantage to 27-10. Oakland won a Super Bowl before with their victory over Minnesota 32-14. Billy Campfield is back to get the kick from Barr. It's rather deep and high, and Campfield took it on the 2. He's to the 5, 10, 15 running left. Spins away from one tackle, gets to the 20, and goes down at the Philadelphia 22-yard line. Kickoff went to the Philadelphia 22. Billy Campfield returned it 20 yards, and Joe Campbell tackled him. And an Oakland player is down at the moment, slow in getting up. The tackler on the play, Joe Campbell. That stops the clock with 8:19 left in the game. And the Eagles, as if they haven't opened it up, are going to have to open up another notch. Jaworski's 14 out of 31, 234 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 intercepted. Plunkett is 12 out of 19, 249 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Oakland has not had a turnover today.
And that's the way you have to play in a big game. And, you have to win the game. You can't lose it. And that's exactly what Oakland has done. They've won the football game so far because they haven't had a lot of mistakes. On the other hand, when you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, they've made a great number of mistakes here. And that's what you call losing a football game because it wasn't all done by the other team. A lot of it was self-inflicted. And, of course, I think one of the keys in the game was the fact that they had a touchdown call back.
At a very crucial. The same thing, a touchdown pass apparently to Rodney Parker, who was called back because Harold Carmichael had been in motion, illegally in motion.
That would have made it 7-7.
Now the Eagles are back at their 22-yard line. Smith and Carmichael to the right. Jaworski tosses the ball to Montgomery. He is latched onto by Hendricks and gained only 2 yards. The Stork grabbed him and just threw him to the ground. Of yards for Montgomery.
But again, he's a key. You have to find out, you have to know where he is all the time. You have to block him, and that's really it's tough enough to block him when you know where he's going to be, but when you don't know where he's going to be, then it really becomes a problem.
And of course, Hendricks is a member of the Pro Bowl team. Back to throw Jaworski. Throws to the right sideline, and it's caught at the 39 by Charles Smith, who is taken down at the 40 by Lester Hayes. First down, Philadelphia at their 40. Jaworski seems to be throwing differently now, Hank, than he was at the beginning of the game. Am I right?
Well, he is. Yeah, he looks like he's a lot more loose, but the game's over. For all practical purposes, and it's really a bad time to start being efficient.
First down for the Eagles at their 40-yard line with 7 minutes left. Jaworski straight back to throw. Throws long over the middle, and it's caught at the 42-yard line, and the tackle made immediately on Wilbert Montgomery at the 41 by Mike Davis. The 41 17-yard line of Oakland.
They've done a pretty good job from that formation by using the slot to the left and putting Montgomery, who normally lines up in the backfield, and putting him out in the wing-back position outside, trying to get a one-on-one situation. He's made some big catches.
Well, that last field goal by Oakland really gave them some breathing room. They can afford to play it softly now. Even if Philadelphia gets the touchdown, they're in good shape. They lead by 17. 6:20 remaining.
Here they have the slot again to the right side, Montgomery to the left side.
The give is to Harris, the fullback. Starts inside, goes outside, and he is taken down by Rod Martin, the linebacker. Martin set the tone for this game with his early interception, the first of two that he has made. In addition, he made an awful lot of tackles in the early going. He was terrific at the start, wasn't he?
Yeah, he really has been just very, very outstanding.
Montgomery lost one, and that takes us to 5:50 left in the game. And the clock is running.
And, of course, Martin is 6'2", 210, and played his collegiate football at Southern California.
Cedric Hardman is in to help with the Oakland pass rush. It's 2nd down and 11. And Jones is also in there. There's a fumble, and Jones recovers the ball. It went right into the arms of Willie Jones. And a bad snap, mishandle, and another turnover, the third of the day for the Eagles. Send some of the people down to the French Quarter. 5.5 minutes exactly left in the game. Pause in the action with the score. The Raiders 27, the Eagles 10, and let's take time out.
Have newspaper headlines of soaring interest rates and tight credit made you put off buying that new car or truck you need today? Well, GMAC has the answer. Your GM dealer who uses GMAC not only has money available, but at rates that make good sense. In fact, rates today haven't changed that much from rates 3 or 4 years ago when you bought your last car. Check out all the models at your Chevy, Pontiac, Olds, Buick, Cadillac, or GMC truck dealer. Your GM dealer has the GMAC financing you need today.
The place, the sales department at Westinghouse in Palo Alto. This is a $3 million contract. We can't afford to miss it because of some delayed reports.
The Pittsburgh Research Center just sent the report.
But the presentation is tomorrow.
They'll be here. They were sent by express mail service.
Overnight, express mail service delivers. Gentlemen, our research shows that we express mail next day service. Overnight from over 2,000 post offices, we deliver. Sponsored by your postal service.
Happy to see that Joe Campbell, injured earlier, is apparently okay along the sideline. Hank, look at the difference in the two benches. The Eagles know it's over, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. Very, very obvious.
We have exactly 5.5 minutes remaining in the game. The Raiders lead by 17, 27-10, and they have the ball at their 42-yard line. They probably won't throw it around much now. They have Van Egan and Kenny King in the backfield. Van Egan very, very sure-handed. The give to Van Egan. Hops it up the middle, got a yard. That's all. He is driven back. Van Egan for one. Charlie Johnson met him nose on. Sunday afternoon, our CBS radio microphones will be in Honolulu, Hawaii at Aloha Stadium and on the air at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time with the Pro Bowl game. Quite a few of the performers are here today. King, Shell, Guy, Hayes, and Hendricks of the Oakland Raiders, and of the Eagles, Carmichael, Jaworski, Logan, and Johnson. 2nd down and 9 for the Raiders. Here's a give to King, going left, and Egan threw a block, and King turns it upfield and comes near midfield. It's going to be 3rd and 3 for the Raiders. Bill Berge made the tackle.
The Oakland Raiders do not run in the I formation very much. I think it'll be interesting to see for next year. Kenny King, I would think, would be a great running back from the I formation. I would think that for next year they would give him a lot of work at that particular formation, and I think he'd be a lot more efficient in the I than he has been from normal formations.
The ball is right at midfield. And it's 3rd down 3 for the Raiders. The clock is running. Here's Plunkett back to throw. His pass is dropped by Arthur Whittington. He was reaching for the low throw and knocked down by LeMaster. It's 4th down and punting time. That's about time for a Guy to knock somebody's eyes out with one of his punts.
Yeah, he's only kicked, what, twice? this afternoon.
Guy has punted twice, 43 and 42 yards.
And either one of the two kicks is very impressive, but it didn't make any difference because the Oakland Raiders have done a great job in so many other areas. And, of course, lead at this particular stage of the game 27-10.
Even when Guy misses the ball, he kicks at 42 and 43 yards. We wait for the snap from center. Todd Christensen will snap the ball, back to get it. Wally Henry into the game for the first time. Henry, there's a low snap. Guy handles it and kicks it high and deep. Henry at the 10 takes it and runs right and knocked off his feet down around the 10-yard line. Wally Henry back in business after having fractured ribs and his spleen removed. Couldn't get anything done there. He was tackled at the 10-yard line, and the Eagles will go from there with 3:51 left. There's a timeout on the field. The score, Oakland 27, Philadelphia 10.
Shop early in the week and take advantage of the special one-time-only savings at Montgomery Ward's Catalog Budget Center in Villa Park. If you're a bargain hunter, you'll love the many early bird specials at Ward's Budget Center in Villa Park. Early this week, you can save on Ward's finest 3.5 horsepower 20-inch steel deck lawnmower at special end-of-season savings. Was $169.99, now only $129.88. You save $40. Save on Ward's finest heavy-duty snowblower, great for small businesses. Features battery start, 33-inch clearing width, 5 gears forward, 3 reverse. Was $944.99, now only $897. Save $53. Save on mismatched spring and mattress sets, now only $159.70 complete. All early bird specials are subject to prior sale. Shop early in the week and save at Montgomery Ward's Catalog Budget Center, 701 West North Avenue, Villa Park. Why save pennies when you can save dollars at Ward's Budget Center, Villa Park? Ward's Charge All Visa Master Charge Welcome. Shop today.
The ball is marked down at the Eagles' 12-yard line with 3:51 remaining. The Oakland Raiders lead by 17 points, 27-10, and they'll take the Vince Lombardi Super Bowl trophy back to the Bay Area. Eagles in the Super Bowl for the first time will not be winners today. 3:51 left. Smith and Carmichael come left. Jaworski, 16 out of 33 with 2 intercepted, is back to throw. Sets up, has time, throws, and it is incomplete out beyond the 30-yard line. Charlie Smith dropped it as he was hit. And he was hit by Dwayne Osteen. Jaworski has had a few balls dropped today, Hank. We have to give him that.
Yeah, no question about that. Yep.
Second down and 10. Sellout crowd, 75,500. Big payday coming up for the Raiders, about $34,000 per man total.
And the biggest payday of all is that great ring. They'll spend the money, but they'll always have that ring.
Here's Jaworski back to throw. He throws. It's caught by Montgomery at the 20s to the 25. He nailed there, but that's a Philadelphia first down. Mike Davis tackled it. And now a timeout is charged to the Philadelphia Eagles. They brought out to the 25-yard line. We have 3:36 left in the game. Raiders have 2 timeouts, and the same is true for the Eagles. Hank, did you expect Carmichael to catch more than 5 passes today?
Well, I thought a lot would be contingent on how they played. I'm talking about Oakland. I thought if Hayes played him man for man all over the field, I said that I thought I'd be very surprised if he caught more than 3 passes. And I'm surprised that they didn't throw to him more because that didn't happen. They let Osteen cover him man for man. He's caught 5 passes for 83 yards. But I think if they kept him on the left side and worked on Osteen more than they did, he might have been more productive, and it might have helped their football team more this afternoon.
From what we've been able to judge up here in the press box, Plunkett is going to be named the most valuable player. He's 13 out of 21, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Oakland hasn't had a turnover. No fumbles, no interceptions. And some story. Nobody, well, do you think this will convince people who still said that the jury was out with regard to Plunkett's ability?
Oh, it's a funny business, Jack. You know, you can win Super Bowls and you can do a lot of outstanding things, and there's always reason for somebody. They always find reason to doubt what you do and why you did it. So you can't worry about those things. You have to do your thing and hope for the best.
The Eagles go back to work. They're at their 25-yard line. Trailing 27-10. Here's Jaworski back to throw. Hardman is after him, and the pass is batted down by Hardman just as he threw it incomplete. Oakland has gotten a lot of mileage out of football players who played for other teams.
Yes, and you know, they take football players who have had great reputations and outstanding ability and had some problems with other teams. And I think it's very important. We always like to take people on the rebound too, and we felt that it was their last opportunity. If they're ever going to play good, they would play good under those circumstances, and that's what Oakland has done here. And they've got a lot of good out of the players they were able to pick up.
2nd and 10 Eagles. Long count by Jaworski, back to throw, 4-man rush. His pass to the right side is caught. The hit made immediately on Montgomery at the 30-yard line. A gain of 5, and it'll be 3rd and 5. Blasting him was Otis McKinney. Now the clock is running, and it can't end too quickly for the Eagles, to tell you the truth. They're down by 17. 3rd and 5. Jaworski back to throw, and sets up and throws. Short, incomplete, out around the 35-yard line. They tried to get the ball to Billy Campfield. A flag is down back in the Philadelphia Eagle backfield. And Joe Campbell gets into it with a couple of players. Stan Walters and others. They're trying to keep him away from Jaworski. Now we'll see what the flag is about. The 3rd down play for the Eagles. Ben Dreith, the referee, wants the football. He's going to march. Strike up the band, folks. He's out across the 35 to the 40, and Ben Dreith puts it down at the Philadelphia 45.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on a defense, number 90. That's a 1st down.
The call is against Willie Jones for roughing the passer. 3:02 left in the game. Clock stopped because of the penalty. Eagles at their own 45. They trail 27-10. They trailed throughout. Here's Jaworski. He's going to put it up. Sets up, looking to throw a screen. It's not there. He throws, and it's intercepted by Martin. That's his 3rd of the day. He was back to midfield and down to the 39-yard line of Philadelphia, and that's a Super Bowl record. Rod Martin with his 3rd interception of the day.
That's pretty incredible, isn't it? Boy, what a great catch that was, too. He speared that one beautifully with his hands. Linebackers don't usually do that. They usually try to make catches and help make the catch with the use of their body, but he speared that ball beautifully, and another interception by Martin.
6 left in the game. Oakland has the ball. They have the lead, and with the score, Oakland 27, Eagles 10. Let's take time out.
Here's some good news about interest rates from GMAC, the financing people from General Motors. Even though the bank prime rate has gone higher and higher, you should know that most auto financing rates don't automatically go up with the prime rate. And that simply means this. The new Chevy, Pontiac, Olds, Buick, Cadillac, or GMC truck you've had your eye on is probably a lot more affordable than you think. Your GM dealer has the GMAC financing you need to help you get that GM car you're after. Check it out today.
Ready for a real chainsaw? Now's the time to move up to Red, Homelight Red, because now your dealer's making it easy to get your hands on a Homelight, like the powerful new 330, feature-packed with solid-state ignition, anti-vibration system, pro-style handguards, automatic chain oiling, and right now, a rugged $25 carry case free. Move up to Red at your Homelight dealer. Check out the savings on the 330 and other fine chainsaws from Homelight.
I don't want to ring my own bell, but a couple of minutes ago, I voted for Rod Martin as the most valuable player in this game. I kind of thought that he set the stage, the tempo for this game, Jim Plunkett has been named the winner of the MVP here in Super Bowl 15.
Well, there's no question about the fact that he played a terrific football game, but I think in the final analysis, I feel strongly that Plunkett should be the most valuable player, and evidently he has been.
Previously in Super Bowl games, 2 interceptions by Randy Beverly of New York, Chuck Howley of Dallas, and Jake Scott of Miami. But Rod Martin stands all alone now as he intercepted his third and was tackled at the Philadelphia 39-yard line. 2:50 remains, and Oakland will try to run that clock down. Van Egan up the middle. His forward progress was down to the 40, down to the 35-yard line. He got 4 yards. And now, 2:41 remaining. There's a timeout called, and the Eagles are down to their final timeout. Van Egan carried 4 yards. They certainly played a wonderful ball game, Hank. Talking about the Oakland Raiders in all departments.
Yeah, they really have, and you have to give Tom Flores a lot of credit. Here he is, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. Just the second year he's been a head football coach and come in here and win the Super Bowl, take a team like the one he took and have the record that he had this year. It's a great achievement for Tom, and of course we're very, very happy for him, and of course Al Davis and the entire Oakland organization.
Flores, the coach, Plunkett, the quarterback, unsung people. I'll tell you a bit about Rod Martin, the linebacker on the right side. He's 6'2", 210, out of Southern Cal, a 4-year man. He's had himself some day.
Fantastic. Just fantastic.
Plunkett comes back in. He's 13 out of 21, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns, and still no turnovers on the part of the Raiders. Remember, CBS is your #1 radio network for sports. Throughout the year, you get scores and schedules, full coverage and features every weekday. 3 editions of Sports Time with Brent Musburger, Ron Weber, and Bill Schweitzer. A weekend edition with Howard David. Keep up with sports. Keep tuned to CBS Radio. Here's another running play with Van Egan, the sure-handed carrier, taking inside the 35, down to the 32-yard line of Philadelphia. The Eagles have only 1 timeout left. So Van Egan got 3 on that trip. And the clock starts again. We're down to 2:25 left in the game. Howley of Dallas intercepted 3 in Super Bowl games, but that was in 2 games total. And Jim Plunkett is the most valuable player. 3rd down and 4 for the Oakland Raiders. They give to Van Egan, running left to the 30-yard line, gets a first down. Oakland will hang on to the football as he went down at about the 28 of Philadelphia. It's another first down, and we're at the 2-minute warning. The Raiders have the ball, they have a first down, and they have the lead. A pause in the action with the score. Oakland 27, the Eagles 10. Let's take time out.
Next time you pick up Quaker State Motor Oil.
Quaker State. Ah, here it is.
You'll see that now it does something new. Now it not only helps cars last, but it helps gas last, too.
Oil saves gas?
Quaker State does. 3 ways. Now, in addition to gas-saving Sterling Motor Oil, Quaker State Super Blend 10W30 and Deluxe 10W40 save gas, too. So now you can get famous Quaker State quality plus extra miles at no extra cost.
Quaker State saves gas. Thanks.
Quaker State, now your first choice to help gas last, too.
Ready for a real chainsaw? Now's the time to move up to red. Home Light Red. Because now your dealer's making it easy to get your hands on a home light. Like the powerful new 330. Feature-packed with solid-state ignition, anti-vibration system, pro-style handguards, automatic chain oiling, and right now, a rugged $25 carry case free. Move up to red at your Home Light dealer. Check out the savings on the 330 and other fine chainsaws from Home Light.
With 2 minutes left, the Raiders put in Jensen and Christensen and Lindsey Mason. Mason is an offensive tackle. And they put in Steve Sylvester. It's a thrill for those folks, Hank, no matter what the situation. They also put in Rich Martini. A thrill for them to just appear, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. And I think it's important for the young players to be able to say that they played in the Super Bowl game. Even though it's not for a very long period of time, it's important the fact that they did get a chance to play and to help them as they go along with their careers.
Eagles have only 1 timeout remaining, so this one is just about over. It's a first down at the Philadelphia 28, and Derek Jensen runs inside and stays in bounds as he is tackled inside the 25 down to the 22. And he got big yards on the play. He got 6. He was tackled by Bernard Wilson.
You know, it's interesting to watch this Oakland football team play. I bet they haven't run more than 4 or 5 different plays in the entire game.
Talking about running plays.
Running plays. All they do is run a lead play with the fullback leading the play or the halfback leading the play. They might run a counter. They might run a sweep. But basically, that's all they've done here this afternoon. They've played error-free football. They've thrown the ball extremely well. But they have really controlled the line of scrimmage most of the afternoon, both offensively and defensively, and that's the way you win.
Now Jensen carries down to the 20-yard line, making a 3rd down and 2. 1:10 left in the game. One more first down, and it surely will be over. Charlie Johnson made the Eagle tackle. Well, Philadelphia Phillies baseball team brought the championship back to the city of brotherly love, but not the Eagles. Not here today. And it'll be the second win in Super Bowl competition for the Oakland Raiders. We are down to 50 seconds remaining, and it's 3rd and 2, the ball of the Philadelphia 20-yard line. Eagles have 1 timeout remaining, and the Raiders lead by 17. And the give to Jensen, and he picks his way for a first down to the 16-yard line of the Eagles. And now we're down to 30 seconds remaining, and they'll not have to snap the ball again. This game is over. 27-10 is the final. The Oakland Raiders, underdogs, came here, and just as they defeated Minnesota for a Super Bowl victory in Super Bowl number 11, they also walk away with number 15. Dick Johnson and Brent Musburger are going to bring you the post-game color here. Tom Flores. And the Oakland Raiders have won the Super Bowl here today with Jim Plunkett the most valuable player. That's the end of the game between the Raiders and the Eagles. The final score, Oakland 27, Philadelphia 10.
Welcome to the Office of the Future. Makes corrections right here on the display screen.
Send text electronically from your office to anywhere.
Move whole paragraphs with a touch of a button.
The old-fashioned typewriter.
It even adds and subtracts, multiplies and divides.
Change margin.
Change page numbers. Change headings.
Change type style. The world of business machines. It's a confusing tangle of equipment, capabilities, and promises. But now, out of the confusion, emerges Exxon Office Systems Company. We've innovated such advances in office technology as Quicks, the intelligent typewriter, an electronic marvel with a host of automatic features that free secretaries from the monotony of routine office typing. We also make other advanced office products. But most of all, we want to help make your office more productive. Introducing Exxon Office Systems. For information, call 800-327-6666. In Florida, call 1-800-432-0800.
Almost a perfect game for the Oakland Raiders. They had a long road to follow as they made their way here to the Super Bowl game by beating Houston, Cleveland, San Diego, and now this wild card team. The Raiders have won it 27-10. Brent Musburger is in the Raiders dressing room. Brent, take it away.
Jack, I'm right down here with a very happy John Matuszak. Big John, congratulations on that Super Bowl triumph.
Well, thank you, Stud. It was an uphill battle for us all the way, all year. Starting out at 2-3, and then winning the last 13 out of the 15 games. Very big for us. Just showed a lot of character. A lot of people badmouth us, but we really are a hard-working team, and we really care about people, and it can show it today.
What about the performance of the quarterback, Jim Plunkett?
It has to be a comeback story of the year. The guy has just shown so much character, and that certain part in the body that always gets tied in a lot of people, it never got tied on him.
I'll tell you, you cut these guys up right from the very beginning. There was never a doubt out there.
Well, Philadelphia's really tough. They've come back all year long, and I didn't relax until there was a couple minutes left.
All right, John, we're going to go back up to the booth to Jack Buck. I know that you want to get all the wrappings cut off, and then we'll be back with Jim Plunkett and the rest of the Raiders. But first, let's go up to Jack Buck.
The figures for Jim Plunkett, 13 out of 21, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. The Raiders played an almost perfect football game.
And that's the story of the game, really. They did a super job, and I don't know what else you can say about the Oakland Raiders. They came into the game as an underdog team, but they played extremely well. As you mentioned, no turnovers. Jim Plunkett was just fantastic. They did an outstanding job from a defensive standpoint. Control the line of scrimmage both offensively and defensively, and anytime you do that, you're going to win.
Van Van Egan carried 18 times 72 yards. King 6 carries, 30 yards. Jensen 4 for 18. Plunkett ran 4 times 9 yards. Chester caught 1. Branch caught 5, 2 touchdown passes, and 1 for King. The only pass he caught went for 80 yards in the score. Chandler caught 4 and helped to keep some Oakland drives moving. Guy punted 3 times, 41, 42, 43 yards. And Barr kicked 3 field goals, 32 yards, 35 yards, 46 yards. He was 3 out of 4, and 3 interceptions by Rod Martin, a Super Bowl record, and they recovered 1 fumble. So the Eagles had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and 1 fumble. Oakland won it 27-10. We'll return in just 1 moment.
Good painting results begin with good materials, like the quality paints and accessories you'll find at True Value hardware stores. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you they offer the Easy Painter 7-piece painting set, now just $5.78. It comes complete with 9-inch roller frame and cover for use with most paints, an extension pole for getting at hard-to-reach areas, plus a 1.5-inch trim brush for painting around doors and woodwork and more. And True Value hardware stores offer a wide selection of tools like putty knives and wallpaper strippers to help you properly prepare the surfaces to be painted. And paint and varnish removers that remove latex, varnishes, and more. For professional-looking results, get quality painting tools and accessories like the Easy Painter 7-piece painting set for $5.78 from participating True Value hardware stores.
True Value Hardware is more than just a name. It's a way of doing business. That means True Value.
Wilbur Montgomery ran for 42 yards and 16 carries, and that's not very many yards.
Well, they felt going into the game, Oakland felt naturally they had to contain him. They had to stop him. He's their big play guy. They felt also that they had to do a number on Carmichael, and they felt really, I think, if you stop those 2 people, why the rest of the team, the other receivers, the other running backs were not going to beat you, and that's exactly what they did. They did what they had to do going into the football game, and that's the difference, and that's why they win it 27-10.
Harris carried 6 times, 16 yards. Giamona 7 yards. Carmichael caught 5. Montgomery 6 passes. Keith Prefley 2. He got the only touchdown pass that the Eagles scored. Smith caught 2. Spagnola 1. Franklin kicked field goals of 21 and 30 yards, or he kicked one of 30 yards, and he had one blocked of 28 yards. Final score 27-10, and Brent Musburger is ready once more. Take it away, Brent.
All right, Jack, thank you very much. I'm very happy Kenny King down in here. The commissioner is going to be awarding the trophy in a short time to the Raiders. Kenny, congratulations. How does it feel to be the Super Bowl champion?
Thank you. It feels great. It's a great accomplishment. And, we worked hard. We worked hard all year long, and we stuck. We stood by each other, and it pays off.
Well, you're a remarkable story. Here you were with Houston, kind of the forgotten man, playing behind the great Earl Campbell, and suddenly you get a chance to play, and oh, did you show the football world what Kenny King possesses. That has to be a very special feeling for you.
I thank God for everything that I've got right now. I thank him for giving me the confidence and courage and everything I've got for being here right now, and that's my inspiration.
Kenny, tell me about the 80-yard touchdown that you busted. Did you ever expect to be running that far when you caught that pass?
I never expected to be running a touchdown pass, catching a pass and run that far. I've always, as far as running the ball from line of scrimmage, I expected, but that one, it came as a surprise.
You turn around and there's nothing. You should have seen Tom Flores over there on the sideline. He's waving you on. He about jumped out the field to help you, big guy.
I tell you, that was the turn. I think that was a turning point in the ball game.
All right, Kenny King, thank you so much. I'm going to grab some of the other players here. Ted Hendricks. Ted, just a minute. We're on live here with the CBS radio. And Ted, congratulations.
Point where our offense was slowing down a little bit. I felt like we should have won a couple more games if we had more of an offensive punch. If they picked it up against San Diego, which we would have never won if we hadn't had our offense. Same thing against Philadelphia.
Ted, you came up with another great big play. When you blocked that field goal, we're right into your hands. Once again, you did it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Fred. It's about 1 in 5 on those. Every time you jump in front of them, you got about a 1 in 5 chance of blocking one.
You're one of the team leaders with this group, and what kind of a special feeling have you got? Now, you're the first wild card team to go all the way. You beat Houston,
record for
then the weather, Cleveland, then San Diego, and now finally Philadelphia.
All kinds of climates, and now indoors, and we've been successful throughout.
I sensed something special with this group of athletes. A bunch of guys who kind of drew strength from each other. Said, look, everybody's kind of putting us down. Let's draw together and see what we can do. Am I accurate?
I really don't think so in that sense of the word. This is a unique team. All the Raiders teams have been unique from past. This is just one of their typical teams. Rough and tough, and any way to get the game won.
You did such a much better job against them than you did earlier this year when you lost in Philadelphia 10-7. What was the difference here today?
Well, first of all, we weren't in Philadelphia. And number two, we played a rough game against them in Philadelphia. We felt that we should have won that game. And there was one play in the game where Leroy Harris caught a big pass and they went in to score in the closing minutes that won the game for them. And then again, we didn't generate an offense that game because our offense is big.
Ted, right here in front of us, of course, is the moment that all the Raiders have waited for. Ted Hendricks and all the players now drawing close as the commissioner. Pete Rozelle awards the trophy over to Al Davis, and everybody is well aware of the story, the conflict between these two men. And Rozelle congratulating not only Davis on the job that he has done in putting together this remarkable Oakland Raider football team, but also congratulating all of the players who did an incredible job. As I said, it was the first wild card team ever to go out and capture the Super Bowl championship. What lies ahead for the Oakland franchise? That, of course, is going to be decided in the courtroom, as this team is still attempting to move from Oakland down to Los Angeles, but it's going to be rather difficult to walk in there and tell that judge, look, I want to move the Super Bowl champion, because Al Davis has done it. And one of the things that we can say about him is he's one of the most incredible football men in the entire National Football League. As Hank Stram well knows, Al Davis simply does it better than the other owners. And a big cheer goes up as Davis is now making his acceptance speech up on the stand. Let's send it back up now to Jack Buck and Hank Stram, and then we'll be right back.
Okay, Brent. Hank, there's one misconception we'd better clear up. I was laboring under the same impression that Brent Musburger and others were. When you and your Kansas City Chiefs won Super Bowl number 4, you were also a wild card team.
Yes, we were. We were a wild card team. We beat the New York Jets in New York, and then we came back to beat the Oakland Raiders, and then we won the Super Bowl game, and so we really were a wild card team, too.
Okay, the final score here is 27-10, and again, Brent Musburger.
All right, Jack, thank you very much. Rod Martin is over here, and, of course, he intercepted 3 passes. Rod, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Brett. Hey, Rod. How you doing?
Rod, I had the feeling that the first one was the key to the game. Tell me about your first interception.
Well, it was, I looked back, I was dropping back into the weak side. It was on the weak side of our defense. I saw Carmichael do a streak going down the field. So I looked back to see who was coming back out into my zone, into the flat, and the tight end was doing a curl behind me, sort of. So I jumped back inside and played the ball. The ball was right there, and I grabbed it and brought it in.
Now, how about the second interception?
Second thing, it was about the same thing, only the tight end was in front of me. He came in front of me, and I just jumped in front of him and took the ball.
And then you put a little frosting on with time running out with the third one.
Yeah, so that was it. We were in basically our prevent defense, and I was covering the middle. And he threw it, and I just had a great jump on him, and I picked it off.
How does this Oakland Raider team feel now?
We feel great. This is the biggest victory of our whole career. Everybody had given up on us early part of the season, but we showed everybody we was a team, and we pulled together, and we pulled it out. We're the world champions. They can't be denied now.
Boy, I tell you, the linebackers really cut down on Wilbert Montgomery. I think you held him down around the same yardage total that he gained in his first run against the Dallas Cowboys. You were really something on him.
Yeah, thank you. We knew that would be our key to stop Wilbert in the running game, first of all. We stopped the running game. We knew they'd have to pass. Then we put the 4 big fellas up front and turn them loose and let them go get them. And that's what happened.
And on offense, how about the job that Jim Plunkett has done for the Oakland Raiders, Rod?
Jim Plunkett, I can't say too much about Jim Plunkett. He has proven that he's the quarterback for the Raiders, Oakland Raiders, and he's here to stay.
I got to tell you that he won the MVP, but if we voted right now, I think they'd give half of it to you, Rod, for those 5 minutes.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
All right, let's go back upstairs to Jack and Hank, and we'll be back with Cliff Branch.
The Raiders won it 27-10, and Dick Stockton has the unenviable job of being in the Eagles dressing room. Dick, take it away.
Well, it is a quiet dressing room, Jack, as you might imagine. I'm here with Bill Berkey, who's kind of been the spokesman for the Eagles defense. And I know, Bill, that the Eagles didn't put many points on the board offensively. But I've got to ask you, This is a game in sharp contrast to your earlier game when you put a lot of pressure on Jim Plunkett. It seemed like he had all day to do what he wanted to do, first of all.
Well, we really didn't put the pressure on him the way we wanted to. He had a lot of time back there to throw the ball, and we allowed him to get hot, and he played very well, and I congratulate him, and I congratulate the Oakland Raiders. The only thing that's really sad is the season just comes to a screaming halt real quick, but we've had a lot of good luck, a lot of good fortune this year, and, well, there's always another time around.
Bill, does losing soundly and being beaten decisively as you were today make it any easier than it had been a one-point game?
Well, not really. You either win or you lose, whether it's by 50 points or 1 point, and clearly they were the better ball club out there today, and I just really don't think that they beat us at our best, but that's the way it happened.
Cliff Branch was wide open. All of their receivers were. And I had the feeling that the Eagles were concerned with Kenny King and his outside speed, and perhaps Branch was able to operate.
Well, the first thing that happened to us today, I think, was the first down play. They were picking up the 5-yard, 6 yards, and then they were putting us into an unknown situation where they could either throw the ball or run the ball, and they kind of kept us off balance, and their play selection was real good, and, well, we could have maybe picked off 1 or 2, but they got the turnovers, and they got the win.
Did you feel early in the game when there was the interception by Martin, and then the 2 penalties, the Humphrey penalty that kept their thing going, and, of course, the Carmichael penalty, part of the game? Do you think that perhaps, darn it, what do we have to do here? Did you get a little down early?
Well, I don't think so. We kept saying to everybody in the huddle, let's just play every play like it's our last play and just keep hanging in there, and we just got into some nasty situations. The penalties right off the bat, the turnovers, there's no question that hurt us, and I'm sure it disrupted some of the players. We just didn't have that intensity that we usually have, and that's just really the sad part of it.
Bill, you're a class gentleman. You've been a class player, and we're kind of sorry that you didn't get the ultimate, because you've been in Philadelphia for a long time when things were really down, and you came so close, but you're handling this very well, and good luck to the Eagles. It's a fine organization still.
Thank you very much, Vic.
All right. Bill Berkey, Eagles linebacker. Right now, let's go back to the winning Oakland dressing room in Brent.
All right, Dick, thank you very much. In here, of course, Al Davis is now making the rounds and congratulating all of his players. And it is a celebration that just continues down here by a football team that was simply unbelievable. And right now, I've got one of the men who helped create this franchise, Big Jim Otto of the Oakland Raiders. And Jim is a former star who was here the first time. What's this one like, this Super Bowl championship?
Well, this championship is unlike any other because of the caliber of players that we have here. We've got an outstanding group of players. They were a mixture of a lot of different players, unexpected to do this. And they just came on all year long and kept working harder and harder and harder. Went through all types of adversity back in Cleveland and through the playoffs here this year, and just did an outstanding job. We're very proud of them.
Jim, congratulations. And also in the winning locker room, the governor of California, Jerry Brown. And Governor, what about this? California's finally won a Super Bowl championship.
Well, fantastic. I'm real proud of them. I think we got a great state and a great team. They're really terrific.
You've got the Raiders jacking on, but I don't see the LA or Oakland. Doesn't make any difference to you.
As long as they're in California, I think that's great.
All right, let's go upstairs to Jack Buck and Hank Stram. We'll be back in the Oakland locker room in just a moment.
We'll hear more from Brent Musburger. The Raiders won Super Bowl 15, 27-10 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's pause for this word.
Step beyond the ordinary and discover the future of physical fitness. A world of strength and beauty for men and women. Chicago Health and Racquetball Clubs. It's the place your body's been looking for. Everything you'll ever want in a health club, with the finest equipment that money can buy. Famous names like Nautilus, Paramount, and Universal. In less than 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, you can trim, firm, shape, and shine. Chicago Health and Racquetball Clubs, where now you can enjoy remarkable savings. To celebrate the grand opening of our new Vernon Hills Club, we're offering all the latest dimensions in exercise at 50% off your monthly dues. 50% off your monthly dues. It's something your body can't afford to miss. But hurry, this offer expires February 1st. So come visit your local Chicago Health and Racquetball Club now. We're in the Yellow Pages.
Hurry, these are the final days for Chicago Health Club's 50% off monthly dues grand opening special. Offer ends soon and is good at all locations.
the final score in Super Bowl 15 with the Raiders winning it over the Eagles. Hank Stram, frequently during the year and most noticeably during the playoffs, we heard about the predictable Philadelphia Eagle defense. Do you look upon them that way?
Well, they're predictable, Jack, and just like a lot of teams are predictable. When you win, why everybody talks about it, what a great job you do, and then, of course, as soon as you lose one, well, then, of course, they say, well, they're too predictable. But really, that's what got them here. They've been a zone-style defensive team. They are very conservative. They don't blitz very often. They just say, here we are, you lick us, we'll execute better than you will. You will not take the ball 75 and 80 yards without making a big mistake, and we'll make you make a mistake and take possession and go from there. That's the way they played all year long. They were not able to do that today, and that's really the difference in what happened in this contest today.
Plunkett took them to an 11-5 record, and then he took them to wins over Houston, Cleveland, San Diego, Philadelphia. You can't doubt that they are really the best team in football.
No question about that, and the other thing that's so fantastic about it, Jack, is the fact that they won all of those games away from home.
The wild card team never has the luxury of a road game. Even here in the Super Bowl game, they were considered to be the road team. They jumped out in front by the score of 14-0. Early on in the game, an interception by Rod Martin, the Oakland linebacker. He returned it to the Philadelphia 30. A pass to Branch took it to the 5, first and goal. A 2-yard touchdown pass to Cliff Branch. And the Raiders were on the board by the score of 7-0. And then on a 3rd and 4 play, they made it 14-0 with an 80-yard pass to Kenny King. And they went from there. We'll hear more now from Brent Musburger.
Jack, thank you so much. The celebration continues down here, and again, Big John Matusak, you've had a chance now to give it some thought about what this Super Bowl championship means for the Oakland Raiders.
I have, Brent, but it really doesn't sink in for a while. I dedicate this game to a young guy named John Spilbeck who's got cancer, and he put it in a state of remission. He's a real tough kid. Dedicate to him. I hope he's down here, Brent. There's Gene Upshaw.
Let him take over, too. Gene, congratulations on that championship.
Oh, man, it's really great. I'm coming in here. I see you. I see Jim Hill. I see Stu. What the heck is this, a convention?
Absolutely. We always come to the winner's locker room. What were some of the keys now to the game today?
Okay, some of the keys in the game were we had to control the line of scrimmage, and we didn't do that the first time. We gave up 8 sacks, but there's no carryover in this game.
In other words, it helped you, perhaps, having been troubled by the Eagles that first meeting back there in Philadelphia. You were ready for those guys this time.
Yes, we were. We knew we had to control the line of scrimmage. We went out and did that, and when we did that, there was no way that they could stay with us.
What was Jim Plunkett like in the huddle today?
He was very calm. He was very calm. He wanted to win. He wanted to prove all the time that he was worthy of leading us here, and he brought us all the way. He was the MVP. But it's one thing, I'm going to drive the car for a couple of weeks.
All right. Thank you, and congratulations. Back upstairs to Jack Bucknow and Hank Stram.
We shall go from the Oakland dressing room to the Philadelphia Eagles dressing room and Dick Stockton.
Well, I've been in a few losing locker rooms, but I don't remember being in one that was handled with such class as the Philadelphia Eagle Ball Club, and I guess a lot of credit has to go to their head coach, Dick Vermeil. And I know, Dick, things are easy when you're winning, and you've been very widely quoted, and you have your philosophy, but now you're in a losing situation. I'd like to know right off the bat your feeling.
Well, I've been given a lot of credit for a lot of success that we've had in Philadelphia, so I think I should receive quite a bit of the blame for not playing better than we did today.
Why? Why particularly?
Well, I'm not satisfied with the way we played, though I don't want to take anything away from the Oakland Raiders. They soundly beat us. They were well prepared and played well, and certainly were the better football team today, and they might be a better football team than Philadelphia, period. That's all. I thought we'd play a little better than we did, and maybe it was due to the fact that the Oakland is that much better than we are that we didn't look better.
What, if I could say, surprised you in the way the game developed? I know the interception didn't help you off the top by Martin. They went in and scored, took the early lead. The penalties hurt you tremendously in the first quarter. Did you feel that was the beginning of the end for you?
No, not really. I felt coming out in the second half we still had a chance to win the football game. But then the broken play and the long pass, of course, in the first half was a big one. And then having a guy totally covered and coming up with a touchdown pass, and having 1st and 20 coming out of their own 10-yard line and having to go the length of the field and score, I think was the big drive that really killed us. And Jimmy Plunkett just did a super job. And we didn't get enough heat on him. And then offensively, when we got down there, we didn't get the ball in the end zone. And when you don't get the ball in the end zone in these games, we're not good enough to drive the length of the field, get back down there again consistently enough to win. The Oakland Raiders were just clearly a better football team.